strengthen, they deviate in the direction they are going. So this is the movement if it continues off to the east-southeast. Of course, we remain with the severe thunderstorm warning in Cloverdale and Greencastle, moving to the east at 50 miles an hour. And let's back out, and the metro area is also getting some light rain. It looks like we might have some heavier rain pulling in from this severe thunderstorm that is still maintaining its intensity as it's going off to the west. Crawfordsville, light to moderate rain, but the reason we're on air is because of that tornado warning that is in Terre Haute, Vigo, and Clay County. Do you have a spotter report?
Not rotating,
yeah.
no, just the funnel observed, but no rotation.
No rotating wall cloud or funnel observed. Interesting.
Interesting wordage.
Yeah, interesting wording there on the Putnam County storm, and that was west of Cloverdale when we had the tornado warned cell here. Again, the tornado warning that is in Clay in Vigo County, they backed it off to a radar indicated rotation. Radar indicated rotation means there's enough velocity or potential signatures within radar that we're going to continue with the tornado warning. That runs for another 20-ish minutes. Hail is developing within that cell as well. You have hail to 1 1/4 inches in that same tornado warned cell. So you have the area that is rotating, and then you also have where you have the rotation, you have just north, a little mini hail core developing here. So those are the areas we're going to be watching here as we go forward. Probably the greatest areas of concern over the next couple hours, because our atmosphere, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, our atmosphere along I-70, or mainly north of I-70, north central Indiana, has largely been worked over. What helped out earlier on is we had rain and some showers and storms. It kind of stuck around, and we didn't really get rid of the cloud cover. So our area of greatest concern is likely south and west of Indianapolis, and we'll see what happens to this cell in Terre Haute as it's drifting off to the south and east. But notice you also have a tornado warning back into Illinois. You still have this severe thunderstorm warning that's in place. That's east of Greencastle, about to drift into Danville, and then one north of Martinsville. So those are our three storms we're watching the most closely here. Light rain falling in downtown Indianapolis. Let's go back to our velocity. Still have a weak area of rotation that's trying to get picked up north of Cloverdale, but as we mentioned with a spotter report, there is at least not much rotation being observed at the ground with that one that's going north of Cloverdale. We do have a new spotter report, rotating wall cloud, in an area of interest in Vigo County. So let's go back to Vigo County, because that's the one, and it looks like it's still trying to rotate. Our velocity scan's trying to pick up something. I think our best chance here is actually looking likely, not much of velocity. Let's go to reflectivity, because I think the reflectivity at least is showing the hooking on the backside. So there is, let's pause it on that last frame. There is like a small little hook south of Terre Haute that Adam is circling here. And this is going to continue east-southeast. Let's go all the way to street level while we have it. And yes, Adam just pulled up Shear Tracker and notice some brown shading on that, red to brown shading. So the red to brown shading, that is some stronger rotation at times that's hugging about just south of I-70, US 41 also there. It's going to maintain its rotation potentially and continue off to the east-southeast. Let's get a track on that now that we have that vividly on our radar here. Center Point's just outside the tornado warning, and Center Point looks like you're going to be the next area that probably has to start taking this seriously. So we got Sealyville, area of rotations passing to your south, runs until 9:03. We have Center Point at 9:20. And then Clay City is look like right on the border on the edge of the tornado warning. You would be the next spot that would need to take shelter if we got a new tornado warning issued for our area. The broader picture here is we continue to just track these three cells, but besides that, our severe risk definitely not as high north of I-70. It's primarily along and south of I-70.
It looks like this one's, you look at reflectivity, it's trying, but there's really, you see a little bit there with your shear, your base velocity. Again, it's still picking up very faint. It still looks more outflow dominant. But again, it definitely shows on reflectivity the past couple scans.
It does.
It definitely looks like it's trying to, but at least it's struggling, but it's at least trying to.
And to be clear, there is no tornado warning associated with this right now. There is a severe thunderstorm warning in place, although me and Adam are noting some small areas of rotation, potentially north and east.
Look at how it's tracking as well. Because normally when we saw the storms earlier, they were trying to move more east. I mean, they were moving more northeast. Really, it's actually moving more so east, which I was mentioning yesterday. A lot of those storms, they were trying to move more northeast, were weakening a little bit, or if they were moving too far southeast, they were weakening. But notice at least with this one, where it was trending northeast, likely as it was weakening, now it's trying to move a little bit more east-southeast, which is a good indication that this storm is at least trying to strengthen just a little bit. So we saw the storm further towards Terre Haute, that one was moving more east-southeast. This one's honestly really starting to do the same thing as well. So definitely we'll have to keep an eye on that. But really, again, still not a whole lot of rotation.
You got to take any of these seriously, just given the amount of wind we have in our atmosphere. We did have a spotter go to Stylesville. Reports of nothing at this time. So that's what we want to hear as this goes east. Stylesville is right here. So you would have a decent look at any potential hook or any lowering of the cloud base. And on our velocity, we're not seeing much. All right, let's go back to that one south of Terre Haute, because I think this is the one. If we get an additional tornado warning, it's probably coming from this. It's passing south of Terre Haute.
Yeah, look at the most recent scans. You see the shear picking up a little bit on that one as well.
Shear's picking up. That's not a trend we want to see.
Actually, with the one, notice back towards along I-70, we see the same thing. We see that reddish, brownish uptick a little bit as well. Where it's
a little bit. Stylesville, we had a spotter in Stylesville. It doesn't mean things have changed. Things could change quickly whenever you get some of these cells that are rotating. So it's picking up on some weak rotation just north of I-70.
Yeah, just north of where that hook is.
Yeah.
So it's close.
And Monrovia's right here. Plainfield is starting to come into picture. And, of course, downtown Indianapolis at this point, right around the corner as well. So this is the area that is going to impact southern parts of the Indianapolis metro area, still holding its intensity, moving to the east. I believe it was around 50 miles an hour. So moving to the east at 50 miles an hour. The northern part of the Warren Cell, that's where a lot of heavy rain is falling. Some lightning strikes. Adam's drawn it out through the metro area. So that Monrovia at 9:09, Mooresville at 9:14, Greenwood at 9:33, Bargersville at 9:35, New Whiteland 9:37, and 9:39 in Whiteland. This is the one to watch closest to the metro area because our atmosphere has been worked over today. We've gotten repeated rain and showers and storms. Our instability hasn't climbed a lot, so this would be the cell to watch, I think, for the Indy metro area if we were going to get a warning over the next couple hours. Of course, the other concern as we go through the next couple hours, showers and storms have been working over the same area, so our flooding threat will also be going up in the next couple hours. Some spots could have what we refer to as training thunderstorms. So that's thunderstorms going over the same area repeatedly, and that's where your flood threat goes up. Lightning is also pulling into the Indy metro area as well. Still trying to get that hook developed there, even though it's a severe thunderstorm warning at this point.
I would like to point out in that area, we're actually starting to get a little bit, I can't think of the word, congested as we start to get closer to the radar site, that it starts to get a little more congested. You can't really see the rotation. I can't pull it up, but the radar at the airport is actually showing a little bit more of some decent rotation right within, probably shown up on our shear rate. Yeah, right where we were pointing out the area of shear before, right within this area here. Radar at the airport itself is actually starting to pick up more of some of those more heavier rotation.
All right.
Not rotating, but right within that area, there's a little bit.
All right, we'll also try to, I think we should try to get, if we can take our downtown camera, I'd love to see our downtown camera. It's probably looking west as some of the heavy rain is at least pulling into Indianapolis. So when we get the chance, we'll pull up the downtown camera. But what Adam is mentioning is our radar site is this circle right here. So when you get closer to the radar site, it is tough to see higher into the storm. Of course, as you're looking out only a couple miles, you're getting some of the wind measurements that are probably a little bit more accurate down to the surface. as well as that rotation that's get picked up closer to the radar site. So you're potentially seeing stuff a little bit better, but when it gets too close to the radar site, it's a fine line. At that point, could have anything blocking our radar beam from seeing things. So here's our tornado warning, or we're switching our camera. Our camera, again, what is that, Adam? Is that looking west? I think that might be looking west.
Trying to get, I can't fully depict where that is.
Yeah, our camera, I believe, is looking west here. Heavy rain is in place. All right, so back to our severe thunderstorm warning, northern Morgan County, southern parts of Hendricks County. That is where we have the severe thunderstorm warning in place. We're on air, though, for the tornado warning in western Indiana. So, Adam, let's go back to that tornado warning, and this is the one that we'll be watching through the next couple hours to see if it continues its rotation. You do have a lot of green on our map. That's a velocity signature, and some brighter colors indicating some stronger wind in Vigo County, about to go into Clay County. If we do get downstream tornado warning, it's probably coming from this cell, because right now the one that is closing in on the Indy metro area, or southern parts of the metro area, still carrying over some wind, some light rotation. But this one that's hugging I-70 has had just a history of rotating all the way back into Illinois. It's already produced multiple tornadoes today in Illinois. It hasn't been as impressive, at least in Indiana, and that's a good thing we want to see here over the next couple hours. Adam has shear tracker pulled up yet again, and the brown shading, brown to reddish shading, that's some stronger rotation. It's not a ton of rotation, but let's see if that overlaps with the reflectivity. Let's go back to reflectivity. I'm kind of curious if that does. Yeah. So Adam's circling where we have the strongest rotation.
Generally in the vicinity of where it's trying to.
So it's there. Center point, you're now getting heavy rain there. But Adam is circling where we would.
Yeah, you can see that right there.
All right, so storm relative velocity definitely picking up on this now. Our radar sites in Indianapolis, what Adam just queried here is 43-mile-an-hour winds whenever you see the red shading thing going away from the radar site, like headlights or back of the cars, going away from our radar site. You have 57-mile-an-hour winds going towards our radar site in Indianapolis. So that is our rotation, which is more impressive, the most impressive probably signature we've seen today, Adam, at this point.
We're also getting a report of a funnel cloud that was right in that Youngstown area. So where we're actually seeing those velocities as well, there is at least a funnel cloud, which means really at any point that could touch down.
All right, then we're going to carry this over because at this point the warning ran to like 9:15 or 9:30.
This one, I've got to clear that. This one goes until 9:15, so we still got another 10 minutes on that.
Which has me thinking they might be already thinking about extending it. I mean, this is the better rotation we've seen today at this point. I-70 is right here. You got US 41, and Adam's doing a good job zooming all the way in here. So Riley, Keller, what else we got? Corey. And this is as we're starting to get now into Clay County, this line, or this shower storm. It's kind of cellular the way it's kind of sticking out from the line a little bit.
Still eyes on the funnel cloud, but nothing that's touched down yet. So we have spotters that do have eyes on that funnel cloud at the moment.
So this is good. We have spotters on this. So it is a radar-indicated tornado. If this does go confirmed, you'll see the polygon pop up purple on our radar. And Adam, that's starting to look.
Yeah, you can watch the red and green sort of dance around each other a little bit. You see the reds on top now. They were more so on the west side, and now they're on the north. So definitely at the bottom of your screen there, you can see how the green tries to dance around a little bit. So you see the red that's now up here, and you see that green that tries to start to wrap back around. So good indication that that storm actually has pretty decent rotation. One, we can also see that from that funnel cloud as well.
And the reason I want to mention with this storm, unlike what we've seen the other storms get to the state line, this atmosphere hasn't been worked over as much as, say, the Indianapolis metro area and many areas north of I-70. A lot of the atmosphere, Martinsville's starting to come into picture, but a lot of the atmosphere south and west of Indy, the further south and west you go, that's where you have the untapped energy. So if we're going to get some strong storms over the next couple hours, I would say it's south and west of Indy. But of course, we still have the severe thunderstorm that's now approaching the airport here in Indianapolis. It's just south. Loose rotation directly along I-70. That severe thunderstorm warning, or severe thunderstorm, we did have a spotter in Stylesville that was reporting they hadn't seen anything, but at that point, Stylesville's getting in on heavy rain. This is going to hug I-70 through Monrovia, Mooresville. Adam's kind of running back the last couple scans here, and
now you can see that pocket of that
little
bit of red
right at the end. Let's overlap. Let's go back to reflectivity and see if that kind of lines up with any hooking nature.
1 second before I get to that, notice like the shades of red and green next to each other. They're not rotating like that other one. So it's a good indication that the storm, this one for at least now, is more so outflow dominant. So still a chance we'll see those stronger gusts. Not quite seeing that hook like what we saw a couple minutes ago.
I was also going to say it doesn't look like the velocity overlaid with where we were seeing that hook. So if you pause that last frame, so here's our hook. It's a little bit further to the north and east.
So there's the velocity right there.
It's more.
It's north of the hook. So
it's still showing some rotation. You look for indents. So there is an area rotating that is just west of Monrovia, right on the I-70. Heavy rain now at the airport. Plainfield, you're in the heavy rain as well. This is only a severe thunderstorm warning for now. Let's go back to that one in Terre Haute, because I think that's probably the one that has the biggest concern at this point, just given our last couple scans when we saw it. And yeah, so here's Clay City starting to come into picture. At this point, the Weather Service might be issuing a new tornado warning. It is
still rotating when you look at it. You still see that green.
The warning runs until 9:15.
So we have a couple more minutes on that one, but still eyes on that funnel cloud. Still nothing that has touched down with that one at the moment.
And you also have to remember now we're starting to get into the post-sunset hours, so it might be more difficult to see anything that is on the ground once we get further past sunset. I would still keep an eye on this one that's north of Martinsville. All three of these are showing signs of rotation, although the one south and west of Indianapolis at this point has the least amount of rotation, just a severe thunderstorm warning in place. Purple polygon out by Effingham in eastern Illinois, so that is a confirmed tornado. So we'll monitor that as it gets closer to the state line. The thing is, through the last couple hours, a lot of these cells have been very strong in Illinois and have fallen apart a touch as they've gotten into Indiana. And there we go, Adam. It looks like a new tornado warning.
Yep, just got extended.
All right, so reading the details on this new tornado warning that is just populating on our map here. It looks like it's another radar-indicated tornado warning. And no shocker here, Adam and I have been on that cell through the last couple minutes. We had that area that was rotating potentially, what was that, a report of a funnel cloud, I believe?
Yep,
that was like
it was
10, 15
funnel
minutes
cloud. The wall cloud was rotating as well, and we still see that rotation here too a little bit.
So we'll wait on reports here, but reading the new details of this tornado warning, southeastern Vigo County, central Clay County, northwestern Owen County. Runs until 10 o'clock. Radar indicated rotation moving to the east at 40 miles an hour. And this is located south and west of Brazil by about 10 miles. So center point, and Adam has pulled up the areas that are in harm's way at this point. You got center point at 9:16, Gosport at 9:50. Spencer, you're just off screen here. And it looks like our...
Yeah, right there.
So this is our automated Barron kind of rotation indicator here, and it's picking it up. Adam, drag this a little bit further north. It looks like our banner's kind of blocking the area of rotation on our screen here. So if we could just shift this or zoom back. Yeah, there we go. All right, so that area, that cylinder that popped up on our screen, that's our automated thing that's saying, hey, there's rotation getting picked up here. Adam's going to take that off, but you can see it. The reds are starting to meet up with the greens at this point. There's a decent amount of lightning strikes, which indicate to me that the cell is holding intensity. And Adam's doing a good job zooming out here. So this is in central parts of Clay County, center point. And then as you're looking, here's Owen County right here. So those are the areas that need to take shelter immediately at this point. What he also has is debris tracker, and debris trackers, I mean, it's just tough to see at this point.
Again, when you see, like, where is that frame? Let me pause.
Yeah.
You can see, like, these shades of green. So it's like the possibility, again, you notice those beams that are, looks like they're just, these little bars are just going off into the distance, likely indicating that there is hail somewhere with either within that storm or at least within that severe thunderstorm warning as well.
No kidding, considering this cell, it does have a history of producing tornadoes in Illinois, but it also had a big history of producing large hail too in eastern Illinois. I think it was up to 2 3/4 inch size hail when it was in eastern Illinois. So our radar might be bouncing off that at times. Still a severe thunderstorm warning, I should say, for northern parts of Morgan County and southern parts of Hendricks County. But our concern here is going to be this cell, especially, Adam, we kind of refer to these as right movers, or in this case, because the line is dropping to the south. If this kind of detaches itself from the line and then enters more of that untapped atmosphere, I think that would be the bigger concern if it starts to shift a little bit further to the south. So we'll see if it interacts with the atmosphere that way. I do see our downtown camera in the background. We are getting heavy rain at this point downtown. Let's go back to the Indy metro area because we have the severe thunderstorm warning that's south and west downtown, but we are seeing heavy rain pulling downtown. Malia Van Ostrand, I believe she's in Plainfield, so this is not too far away from heavy rain. See if we can get Malia here. So Malia, what are you seeing out there? There's heavy rains. There's a storm off to your south. What are you seeing?
Yes, so I am still here in Plainfield, and the rain is getting harder by the minute. There's also a lot of lightning out here that I'm noticing, a lot of thunder. So I'm just seeing some cars that are starting to take some shelter under the platforms here at gas stations just to get off the roads and get to safety. So if you are on the road, make sure you are headed somewhere safe because the storm is intensifying, at least here where I am in Plainfield. I will keep you updated though within the next hour. I'm Malia Van Ostrand for WRTV 6 News.
All right, thanks, Malia. Kind of to reset here, Adam, I just want to take all of central Indiana because let's just reset here. We're coming up on, it's 9:15. So it's 9:15 right now. Meteorologist Ryan Morse, meteorologist Adam Fike, he's driving radar this evening. We've had this worked over atmosphere for plenty of spots north of I-70 for today. That rain we had earlier in the afternoon that kind of stuck around with round one of showers and storms. That shifted the severe weather threat significantly further south along the warm front. So that round of rain was good earlier, and that's preventing severe weather primarily north of I-70. So over the next few hours here, it's south of I-70 I think we'll have to monitor, and along I-70, especially west of Indianapolis right now. Those are the troublesome spots where we haven't had nearly as much rain through the afternoon. So we'll start with why we're on air, and it's a tornado warning. We apologize for interrupting regular programming, but when you get a tornado warning, especially this one that has a history of producing a strong tornado in eastern Illinois, we're going to keep following it until there's no warning left over. But the latest scan on storm relative velocity takes out the storm motion from the velocity couplet that we're picking up on. The red is directly over center point. That is going away from the radar site. Green is coming towards. And Adam, can we pause on that last one? I'm kind of curious on the levels we're getting here. We might be, especially center point, that looks like some strong wind. Yeah, so you got basically 50 miles an hour away, 50 miles an hour towards storm relative. So that is wind, considerable wind that's getting picked up just above the surface regardless here. It looks like they did drop that tornado warning to the west. Is that correct?
The one to the west.
Or it let expire.
That one is expiring. Now, there's still the one we see Effingham that's likely going to miss most of the area. So, like, if this one continues, we'll see it move towards the Bedford, Salem, Seymour area, likely closer. You see towards,
yes.
Let's give that 11 p.m. But I only point that one out because there is an observed tornado with that one. They have been observing a little bit of damage with that one as well, with that tornado on the ground. So if that storm can continue spots like Bedford towards Seymour and Salem, that's going to impact you later on this evening as well.
Okay. While you have this angle, also draw out, say, this tornado warning.
New one just further south.
Did we just get a new one? All right. While we have it, quickly, you can just draw out the arrows to Ellettsville, Bloomington. Let's kind of get a track out to there, and then I'll get the latest details on this tornado warning. So, new tornado warning that was just posted here. Get the details as it just loads in. So, tornado warning, the new one that Adam's highlighting there, that, again, if it keeps maintaining intensity, Bloomington will have to start paying attention. But this new tornado warning runs until, looks like 10 o'clock. So the new tornado warning runs until 10 o'clock, moving east at 45 miles an hour. Southern Vigo County, northeastern Sullivan County, southwestern Clay County, and northwestern Greene County. These are all areas that need to take shelter immediately at this point. We've had this line reach western Indiana, and that line is, again, still maintaining intensity. The line is maintaining intensity as we're looking at this line of showers and storms. So the line of showers and storms is, we'll see if it kind of holds together over the next couple hours as it moves off to the east. Severe thunderstorm warning is just south and west of Indianapolis, and that still runs until, what was that, Adam?
That one
9:30?
is so for another 13 minutes.
So that runs for another 13 minutes.
Yeah, you can see that right there. You see the shades of red towards Mooresville, Brooklyn. Again, since it's so close to the radar site, I think it's going to underdo these wind gusts a little bit, especially from the, let's pull that back up. The radar site at the airport itself is measuring those wind gusts to the surface of 50 to 60 miles per hour, so stronger gusts there.
While we have this view, let's go switch it to reflectivity quickly. Kind of looking at that area west of Brooklyn. You see this?
Yeah.
It looks like this is starting to rotate too, so we'll keep an eye on that as it goes east. Either way, you probably have some strong winds.
Yeah, notice the shade of green as well where it wasn't before. So right, you see your shade of red, you see your shade of green right there together. So it's like you mentioned, it's trying to a little bit.
Let's get a reading on that right near it. Yeah, so you have 50 mile an hour winds. Our radar site's right here in Indianapolis. That's not too far away, and that's moving directly over Brooklyn. About to go over I-69 too. We'll probably, I'd imagine, get some sort of downstream severe thunderstorm warning in place. We do have spotters in Morgan County, and all they're seeing is heavy rain, and it's tough to see at this point when you got that much heavy rain around. So Adam's on a track just in case we get this severe thunderstorm warning, if it ups its intensity or we keep with the warning as it goes east. So some of the spots in the way of this, that's Adams at 9:22, Bargersville at 9:33, Whiteland at 9:39, and eventually Shelbyville at 10:02. But the reason we are on air is because of our tornado warnings that are in Clay County, and we had a new one issued in southern Vigo County. So these are the spots, if we're going to get severe weather through this evening.
Yep, you can see both of those.
Both of them. Both. So Adam's got them both in picture here. He's got the one that's in southwestern Vigo County near Prairie Creek, and then the one north of Clay City. Both of them moving east-southeast. Notice that line to our north, the showers and storms that we had moving into the metro area, more moving on that east movement. So these deviating a little bit east-south and east. That has my worry as it goes into more of the untapped atmosphere. Spencer, you're just outside the warning. Probably hear the tornado sirens in part of Owen County, but you're the next area that's going to have to pay attention to. All right, let's pause it on the last frame and let's go all the way street level on the one in Clay County, north of Clay City. So Center Point, Ashboro, Bowling Green, 6 points, Beamer, Jordan. Yeah, that's strong rotation at this point. Need to take this seriously, take shelter immediately at this point. We've had this line, this same storm has produced confirmed tornadoes all the way back into eastern Illinois. And that it very much is intense rotation that's south of Center Point, given we're still looking a couple thousand feet up. But if this continues to traverse east, we'll start to see more areas in the gun here. Owen County, and then here's Cloverdale. Cloverdale yesterday, of course, near Cloverdale, just south and east is where we had the EF1 tornado. What Adam's pulling up is our shear tracker. You know what's interesting, Adam, is some of these cells are starting to increase rotation. Of course, it's tough to get a reading on the one that's close to the airport, even though it's a severe thunderstorm warning. We're so close to the airport, I don't know if that shear tracker is picking it up correctly, but you never know. Let's pause it there and see if we got any other thing that's supporting some of that rotation near Brooklyn. So that is now at this point on, what is that, the Johnson County, Morgan County line. No, Adam, it is. To me, that's trying.
It's trying, but it's still more, it just still looks more outflow since it's not really, you see the green staying south, you see the red staying north, it's not really rotating itself.
I will say, though, that last scan or two, it looks like that red tries to go a little bit further. Anyways, we'll keep an eye on that. There is a severe thunderstorm warning in place through Morgan County. We don't have any downstream warning right now into Johnson County, but what Adam's circulating is where we're watching the rotation, right? Going away, green coming towards, and we're getting a pretty good signature. Our radar site's only a couple miles north at the airport in Indianapolis, so it doesn't take much to get a good couplet that we're picking up on, just given we're so close to the radar here. Anyways, we'll monitor that. That severe thunderstorm warning runs until 9:30. Still watching, and yeah, these are the areas of concern.
Yeah, still a lot of rotation on that one.
What is that? Let's zoom in on that road. I think that's US. I want to say, let's back out here. What is that road? It's not populating in here. But Bowling Green, State Road 46. All right, so State Road 46, directly along State Road 46 in Bowling Green. And honestly, this spot that's just north and east of Clay City, I don't know how that aligns with our reflectivity. And then the one spot that's west of Prairie Creek. Those are our spots to monitor here over the next couple scans to potentially see if we have any spotter reports, or if, I know it's radar indicated, it's a radar indicated tornado warning along with some large hail that's been hovering on the north side of this cell.
We've been seeing reports of pea-sized hail with that one.
The one in Clay County, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's...
Because that was along, as the storm was passing over I-70 right along the state border, and we could still see the hail swath with that one as well.
Yeah, the hail swath has been carrying over with some of these stuff. And if you have on that reflectivity picture right there, that's the hook. We look for these hooking segments when we are tracking severe weather, and there is a little bit of a hook along State Road 46 north of Clay City.
I'd say the last 2-3 loops, you can see the hook trying to strengthen again.
It almost looks like the backside surging forward and trying to wrap in that hook. So we'll monitor that one. You still have the evident area of rotation that's back along the state line. Those are 2 tornado warnings at this point. We're getting close to the bottom of the hour also with that severe thunderstorm warning. So we'll see if that gets expired south and west of Indy. But that velocity scan that you just pulled up kind of showed it too. Velocity scan, what Adam's going through is the last couple scans.
Actually, look at the red, how it starts to dip down a little bit. You see the green starting
That's what I mentioned, yeah.
Yeah, you can see the red that's actually trying to start to shift back down, and the green starts to move up. So it does look like it's trying to rotate a little bit more on that one, so we'll have to keep an eye on that one, definitely.
Bargersville, this is about to cross into Johnson County, too.
Yeah.
We're getting into eastern Morgan County, the Johnson County line, which we'll stop right there. I'll highlight. This is the county line right here. So Morgan County, Johnson County, monitoring to see.
Yeah, they just put out a new severe thunderstorm warning
see.
for that one.
So they're going forward with, I'll be interested to see if they put the tornado possible tag.
There is not. It is for 60+ mile an hour wind gusts and hail up to 3/4 of an inch.
Okay, that's what we want to see, at least in terms of not having a TOR possible tag.
And that one's moving at 45 miles per hour.
Okay. All right, so the areas that are still more impressive are off to our south and west.
I mean, yeah.
Red's going away, green's coming towards. The brighter colors, that's the stronger wind. And that wind field is south of Center Point. Now, I know this is a radar-indicated tornado warning. I will remind you, last Thursday, we had a bunch of radar-indicated tornado warnings that did produce tornadoes. So you have to take these just as seriously, given that we have the velocity signatures that are strong with the winds. Either way, if this is producing something closer to the ground, you probably have some strong winds that are embedded in this. And this is right on the Clay County, Owen County line. The county line is right here. So it's literally right over the county line. Either way, you're going to have strong winds pushing through. And as we mentioned the last couple of days, stretching from last week, straight line winds does just as much damage as it holds together. Circling it.
Because the velocity is overlapping too, where we see that hook that's trying to...
That's the key factor Adam's pointing out here.
So those two are starting to overlap as well.
You look for the area of rotation. These areas of rotation overlap with some of our other radar products to kind of confirm, like, hey, this is actually rotating. It aligns with our reflectivity hook. So those are the ones to monitor here as we get a couple more scans. And those last couple scans, especially
you see the shear as well. Holy cow.
Kind of popping off. As it goes further east, it's worth checking. Adam's got debris trackers, so you never know. Sometimes you might get some isolated areas. Those look like just quick pop-up readings in Johnson County, so I wouldn't be overly concerned. That's just noise.
That's just, let's call it scatter from the radar. It's just very...
Scatter, noise, whatever you want to call it from our radar site. But it's going to be very tough to see any debris given our radar sites good ways away a little bit, so you're looking up in the storm with these 2 tornado warnings. We'll continue to mention this one in eastern Illinois has dropped a tornado, so that will be getting closer to the state line. That is west of Sullivan County if this maintains its trajectory into Sullivan County. So there are 3 spots to monitor here outside the severe thunderstorm warning we have south of Indianapolis. And it looks like we got that new warning. So let me quickly just read the new severe thunderstorm warning. Did that just pop up?
That was a couple minutes ago. But with the one that's still in Illinois, I do want to point that one out. They are reporting quickly approaching the Illinois-Indiana border. We can see this one has been seeing reports of a large tornado outside in Illinois. So this is one we have to keep an eye on as it moves again into Indiana. So it's going to be more so for our southern counties. We can see lightly towards more so passing between Bedford and Seymour. Really, so like spots like Bedford as the storm continues to move on through. Let me try that again.
And while you're drawing those out, what I will point out, the more these cells get southwestern Indiana is where we did get clearing late in the day. So you're getting even more into the untapped atmosphere the further south and west some of these cells form. In terms of our severe weather in central Indiana, Adam, I'm going to have you quickly put on the tornado watch because I'm kind of curious. They might be dropping some of the counties because north of I-70 at this point, we can maybe start to give all clears if we have some of the watches getting dropped. Because at this point, they're probably going to start. Let's zoom back out. You have it up there perfectly. All right, so we still have the tornado watch in place for north central Indiana. It runs until 1 o'clock in the morning, but from what Adam and I are likely seeing here, there's not much more north of I-70 at this point, given all the rain and just cloud cover in place. The one thing to probably watch north of I-70, especially here over the next couple hours, is probably the flood threat as we continue to get showers and storms. But we'll keep updating you, Lafayette, Kokomo, parts of Hamilton County, Boone County, and Madison County if we get a drop, if you get some areas dropped from the tornado watch. But for the time being, severe thunderstorm warning. I never read it for the southern parts of Marion County, northern parts of Johnson County, so I'm going to pull that up here. Also looks like, I do want to add this, Adam, it might be tricky for you to pull up. We got a flash flood warning too, and that is for Clay and Vigo County. And I'm not shocked that we have flooding because those are the same spots that have had some really heavy rain. All right, so let's talk about both. So you have the tornado warning and the area of rotation, which is in Clay County exiting into Owen County. But you also have this flash flood warning because heavy rain has moved over some of the same spots within these 2 cells that are tornado warned. So you have that flood warning. What does the flash flood warning run to, Adam? It also looks like it includes Clay County. So that runs until 12:30
Eastern time.
So the flash flooding is going to be something else to monitor as we just go through the next couple hours if we see showers and storms go over the same spot. But that spot of rotation, it's definitely there, getting picked up. Moving closer into central parts of Owen County. So Owen County, if you are watching this, or potentially if you have family and friends in Owen County, you need to take this seriously and go to your tornado safe spot as quick as possible. Martinsville is starting to come into picture as well, and even downstream. Again, I didn't even mention the severe thunderstorm warning, but let me just quickly read the severe thunderstorm warning before I forget. So the severe thunderstorm warning for southern Marion County, western Shelby, northeastern Morgan, Johnson County, and southeastern Hendricks County runs until 10 o'clock, 60-mile-an-hour winds, and that looks to be the main threat moving east at 45 miles an hour. So we'll monitor that part, but I think our bigger concern is further south. Adam just drew a track on where we're seeing that area of rotation. Cloverdale at 938, Gosport 949, Spencer at 951, and Martinsville, if you're starting to watch, you'll have heavier rain arriving before that, but shortly after 10 o'clock, that's when we'll start to see the spot that is rotating getting close to you. It is just after 9:30 here. I'm meteorologist Ryan Morse, joined by meteorologist Adam Fike. And we're staying on air until these tornado warnings are off our screen. And it looks like our automated rotation tracker there is picking up on that rotation as well. So not a surprise here. It is still a red blinking box on our screen, which means radar indicated rotation. And you know what, Adam, you pause it right there. It picks up on the rotation we've been talking about in Johnson County.
Yes.
Although it's still, those look like, let's go back to velocity. I'd be curious about the winds on these. It is rotating in Johnson County. Let's go all the way in. So it looks like you got the reds going away and the greens coming towards.
Yeah,
it is loose.
It's not really rotating around each other, so
Yeah.
this is still more outflow dominant, but
probably
still just very, very faint.
It's very faint, but probably stronger winds regardless going through Johnson County at this point. Again, severe thunderstorm warning out for Johnson County. Let's go back to the tornado warning in place. That one also looks, that last couple scans might be in that one in Terre Haute, might not be as strong as well.
Yeah, it lost its shear track to the.
Just keep it off that play. Keep it right where it is, because that, yeah, you notice it definitely take off in Clay County, the northernmost warning, and it looks a little loose as it's going into Owen County, although you still have some brown shading there that is indicating some stronger rotation. But that one, we'll see about this one that's south of Terre Haute, about to get into northern Sullivan County. Obviously, Sullivan County hit hard a couple years ago. Just know that storm, it's radar indicated rotation in northern parts of the county. And yet again, Clay County is in another tornado warning. So the way this has gone the last couple hours, you had the northernmost part of Clay County in one, central parts of Clay County, now a southern mode of Clay County also in a tornado warning. So Clay County, you've been in a lot of safe spots over the last hour or two. Do have a gust, where is that, up to 60 miles an hour? Rotating wall cloud 3 miles southeast of Center Point. So we'll monitor that. Let's go back into Center Point. So I'm assuming Center Point, let's go all the way in. 3 miles, what was that? 3 miles south and east. So this was likely probably a couple scans ago, as we mentioned, where the rotation was still somewhat strong as it was going into parts of Clay County. Of course, you still have the brighter colors here. That's some bright color north of Spencer.
I mean, that rotation where it was hooking is actually about to outrun that warning.
That's what I was going to just say. It's about to move out of this, so we'll see if we get a downstream tornado warning coming. We'll monitor that. Given that we got a report 3 miles south and east of Center Point of a wall cloud.
Yeah.
We probably will monitor. It's starting to outrun that tornado warning, so areas like Gosport and southwestern Morgan County. This is about to run into southwestern Morgan County. Let's see. When does that tornado warning actually run until?
That is until 10 p.m.
Yeah, so that was probably going to expire early, just based on what we're seeing. The National Weather Service, we're in constant communication with the Weather Service, and they are saying the rotation on both tornado-warned storms is looking less organized as well, and I agree with that. But we are closely watching the area south of Indianapolis going into Bargersville, and that's the one we were just mentioning that has some broader shear, but no notable areas of tight rotation. So we'll carry you through. It'll be interesting to see if the Weather Service now continues those tornado warnings that are south and west of Indy. Let's go back into Bargersville. Severe thunderstorm warning still in place, and this is that little hooking mechanism that's west of Bargersville and parts of Johnson County. It's trying. This is just south and west of New Whiteland. This is probably a good look. I'd go back to storm relative, and let's get some readings on those brighter greens, because I think regardless, it looks like we might have just pulled up a camera accidentally there. Let's pull radar up full. There we go. And some of those brighter colors, it looks like just east of Bargersville. Yeah, and Adam, you're getting some readings there. They're over 60 miles an hour. So you have to take this warning seriously. southern parts of Marion County. Unfortunately, Adam, these are some of the same spots that were hit last week that had some strong straight line winds. So just a heads up in some of these locations. You have serious winds working into northern parts of Johnson County and southern parts of Marion County, gusting at times. Our radar site's right here. I know let's go back to velocity, because that would be the actual raw reading, and not as much. But this area that's south of Bargersville, that's the one that the Weather Service has their eye on, and it looks like they are saying that pockets 35 to 45 miles an hour, which kind of aligns with what we just tracked there. And I'm just trying to pull up Shear Tracker. It's tough. Our radar beam is right here in Indianapolis, and sometimes when it's looking south especially, our radar beam, it's tough to pick up on the rotation there. You still have the severe thunderstorm warning, and the last couple scans,
it's trying.
It's trying. It's showing brighter colors here. Severe thunderstorm warning. Let's move that more into frame here, and let's draw a track on that area of rotation in Johnson County into Shelby County.
What speed was that?
I think it was east at 40, if I remember correctly. Still east at 40 into Shelby County. Some of the same spots have been hard hit the last couple storms. So Whiteland moving on top of you, even though you're probably just north of the circulation. Franklin 944, Shelbyville at 1004. See if this upticks in intensity the further east it gets. I will say though, Adam, it's moving more into the worked atmosphere we had earlier, so we'll see how that kind of hangs in there. In terms of, do you want to mention this? Looks like just from me looking at the map, the Weather Service is continuing with a severe thunderstorm warning for that one that's going into Owen County. Even though it looks like we just have strong winds associated with it, maybe some light rotation. Let's see if they might have dropped the, I wonder if they have the tornado possible tag on that.
They just threw in, that is it's not showing up on here, but it shows Johnson and Shelby kind of up perfectly. Right
there we go.
Yep.
All right, Adam, your mic is dead too, so we'll get you a new mic. All right, new tornado warning. This is the one we've been talking about that's been in the severe thunderstorm warning the last hour going to the west, but we'll pause on the last frame. This is south and east of Bargersville. Franklin, you need to take shelter immediately. This area of rotation that Adam's highlighting is about to go right on top of Franklin, cross US 31, and then I-65. Now, I'm going to talk to my producers in the background. We have our producers and directors who are great here. We'll try to, I know we have a couple cameras along I-65. You might get some sort of look here, but in terms of the track, Franklin at 9:45, Needham at 9:48, and Shelbyville at 10:03. Let me read some of the details on the warning. And again, we've been watching this for a bit here. The tornado warning, the line is moving east at 45 miles an hour. Southern Shelby County, central Johnson County runs until 10:15. So we are definitely going to carry you here now that we have this tornado warning in Johnson County. I'm looking in the background as we try to get some of the cameras together. But either way, moving to the east at, I think it was 45 miles an hour. The velocity couple Adam has pulled up. The green is going away, or I should say the red's going away from our radar site. Green's coming towards. So that is where you're getting the circulation that is tightening. Either way, I would anticipate potentially some stronger winds, and we'll see if we get any reports of this thing. It is a radar indicated tornado warning, and if it goes confirmed at all, we would have that box change over to that purple shading here.
I think what's interesting with this one, because when we go back a couple frames, you can, right here, where we saw the rotation was actually where we saw the larger hail swath.
It looks like your mic's dead still, Adam.
No, I can still hear.
All right, there we go. We got you.
You see the hail where we saw this. It looks kind of like more like a bow and arrow. So you got the stronger portions, and you got your stronger winds pushing right here. So what sort of happens is, like I mentioned yesterday, it's kind of like saloon doors, where one part of the storm starts to rotate one way, the other part of the storm starts to rotate another part of the way. So when we looked at our rotation on that one, we saw the northern portion here. When we looked at our velocity, you can see it start to turn one way, and you can see the southern portion where we now have that rotation actually starting to turn another way and start to like what we've seen earlier. When they start to intensify, they start to dive a little bit more southeast. So good indication that the northern portion, so like New Whiteland, moving toward Needham, that's where we're going to see stronger wind gusts if we do have that potential tornado, it's going to be closer, just moving out of Bargersville towards Franklin.
Let's go right into street level with Franklin. I also see our producers working on the camera in the background. We have it at Southern Ave. We need our camera much further south, closer to Franklin. So we'll try to get that up. Again, this is our camera in Indianapolis and Southern Ave. We need the NDOT camera much further south, closer to Franklin along 65. So here's the street level view of where we have the rotation. Hopewell, it's right on top of you. State Road 44 is right here as well. And it looks like, what is that, Commerce Drive, East 200 North. And this is about to near I-65, the further east it goes. So it looks like we have, all right, we have the traffic camera by Franklin. Let's take this traffic camera, and we're looking at our radar here, and it's been heavy rain regardless. So this is I-65 at State Road 44, and this is where we would potentially start to see the rotation near. This is our camera closest to Franklin, our NDOT camera. So we're trying to get a look here. It looks like heavy rain. You probably hear the sirens going off in Johnson County, and with good reason.
So where we're looking at is just, so that would be...
Right here, right?
Yeah,
Let's see.
It's right along, what was that, 44 and I-65. So that's actually,
Yeah.
I
don't know if we can. This be tough behind the scenes if we can double box the radar.
I can't tell if we're looking south or north on this
It
camera.
usually says it on our camera. Yeah, I can't tell. It looks like it doesn't have the direction it's looking, at least. But this might be a little bit more difficult if we can somehow double box the radar with.
Because I think it says, because it's I-65S, but I can't tell if that's south or north. Because if it's looking, actually.
I know, usually it has the direction in the bottom right corner, but we're kind of cut off there, so we can't really read what direction it's looking. But ideally, you want the camera looking north, and I can't tell just based on this camera if we are. All right, so we are double boxed. So, Adam, for one, let's just highlight what we're talking about. This is where our camera is, and this is where the tornado warning is in place for the area of rotation, which is nearing I-65. We're trying to figure out what direction this camera is looking, because if it's looking north, it's looking at where the tornado warned part of the cell is going to cross 65, and that, Adam, that area of rotation is definitely picking up a little bit.
Yeah, so rotation would be practically right over Franklin, while that camera shot, again, was practically right there, so.
Yeah, and that camera shot, we'll stay on it here in a second. All right, so I have the camera direction. The camera direction is looking north.
Okay, so yeah.
That's the way we want to be looking. We'll keep it on it here over the next couple scans and see if we see anything in the background of the camera. But anyways, that tornado warning, warned part of the cell, the area that is rotating, is about to cross I-65. It's directly over Franklin. If you are in Franklin, you should be in your safe spot immediately at this point. If you happen to lose power, again, this is a radar indicated tornado warning, but if you happen to lose power, we are streaming live on Facebook. So if you still have some battery charge left over, you can still follow us that way. Let's go all the way down to the street level here. And this is Hospital Road. Honestly, start looking a little bit further east, because the next scan we're going to get is going to probably be very close to I-65 at this point. What Adam's drawn out here.
So yeah, that's really within
right there.
That's within the next 5 minutes. That, and even could even be a little bit closer, because remember, radar's behind by a couple of minutes. So practically at this point, that area rotation is either just about to cross over I-65 or is pretty much right overhead.
What Adam is referring to, and then you saw a big lightning strike on that camera, but what Adam is referring to is, first off, we are getting our radar images slightly delayed. That's just how radar works. You're seeing what has happened. It's not what's currently happening. It's what's happened by just off by a few minutes or so. And then, of course, our broadcast going over the air. So it might be slightly delayed, but that rotation now just on top of Franklin and pushing to 65.
It looks like there's trying to develop that new area. So if you look at the rotation, so let me circle that. Within, you can see right within there, because that's also where you see your, this is what I was sort of mentioning earlier, where you sort of get that look. You have your stronger winds really pushing right over top of Franklin. So you see spots north where you see wind rotating one way, and you see the southern portion start to rotate the other way. So this is where we would, if there were a tornado, this is likely where that would be. So let's actually zoom in right there.
Yeah.
So that's going to be just technically north of Franklin. Well, within the area of Franklin, but.
And you got the browns on our map there, so that indicates we have some stronger rotation. Now,
especially right here, where it would be somewhere in between those shades of brown right there.
Now, I will mention, we'll watch this camera in the background. We'll take it through another couple minutes to just see what we get. It is nighttime at this point, so it's tough to see anything at this point, although you're seeing plenty of lightning strikes. But I think our next scan will probably get it over I-65. And I'm looking at that camera to see if people start slamming on the brakes or whatever, because at this point, you're not too far away. How many miles away are we from that camera compared to the rotation? It's probably under 5 miles.
So that rotation to, let's find that again.
I mean, that's still a couple miles away. But anyways, that's our closest camera we have for the time being. You probably wouldn't be seeing.
That's about 5 miles away from the camera.
So 5 miles away, we're probably looking up into the clouds as opposed to people slamming on the brakes at this point. So we'll watch this cell here in the next couple minutes to see how it looks as it crosses I-65. Other areas that need to be in this, know this is coming your way. Shelbyville is included in the tornado warning as well. A lot of lightning at this point in Martinsville. And
still a little bit of rotation on that one as well, even though it's not tornado warned.
I was just going to say, I would also get a reading on some of these velocities because it doesn't look like the rotation. The rotation looks broader, and that is in Gosport, about to go into southern Morgan County and extreme northern parts of Monroe County. Ellettsville is in picture. But that is some strong wind, and the radar site is not too far away. Of course, that's storm relative velocity, so that's relative to the storm motion, but you still have some rotation in Gosport in southern parts of Morgan County. All right, let's go back to Johnson County because this is the reason why we are on air at this point. Tornado warning for Johnson County and Shelby County, and that will be running until, what was that time on that? I think it was 10 o'clock.
That is until 10:15.
Okay, so 10:15. You do have some small hail also in this cell. Okay, all right. Let's go back to the Owen-Monroe County line. You see that, what the Weather Service is putting in there? Okay.
Right where we
pointed
pointed out.
Right here,
yep, literally right as we speak.
We potentially have a tornado on the ground. They're mentioning a debris signature potentially on radar. So this is just south of Gosport. Let's go right into debris tracker, and there it is.
Just actually towards Franklin as well, you see two little small spots.
Okay,
you see the one Franklin, so that's going to be just passing over 31, approaching I-65.
I will say that might be south of the rotation.
Again, yes, it's south, but still you could have.
Okay.
That's where also we had some stronger gusts.
Let's keep this broad view. Let's get both broad view. All right, now over. Yeah, I was going to say circle those debris areas and then go back to reflectivity. So let's go back to debris tracker first and see if that kind of aligns.
So there's our rotation, and it just updated.
Yeah,
so
it just
let's try that
updated.
again.
But we do potentially have a tornado debris signature near Gosport at this point, and the rotation's still getting picked up east of Franklin. And notice, so both of them kind of align here. So Adam just pointed out, we'll see if that is tornado debris, but we do think this is likely tornado debris south of Gosport. It is a radar indicated tornado warning. I'll be interested as probably any second it goes purple shaded, which means confirmed tornado on the ground. But let's first draw a track out for northern parts of Monroe County. This is the Monroe County and eventually Morgan County line. I think, what was it? It was moving east at like...
It was moving east at 45 miles an hour, so... Right.
Okay, yeah, we really need to start taking these seriously because these might... Especially that one south of Gosport. All right. Was that 45? Yeah, let's do 45. So first, we'll start with the one that is potentially producing debris south of Gosport. That puts in Morgantown at 1014 and Princess Lake at 1026. Also starting to get into Johnson County at that point. Now jumping right back to that tornado warning and the area of rotation that's east of Franklin. Adam's going to draw it out through Shelby County and even Rush County to give you some advance notice. So Shelbyville, the edge of this tornado warning until 10:05, and then Richland as you're getting into Rush County, that's at 10:32. I'd be more interested if we want to go back in and see how this is trending. Let's go back to let's kind of bounce around products. So let's see. So there is hooking there.
I was going to say, yeah, right where
right here, right where that signature was. Now that doesn't. I would back things up a little bit. So you might, yeah, we'll see if we get it on the next reading. That's what I would say to that.
I was going to say the last reading that debris signature just, I would say, almost said east of Franklin.
Yeah. All right, let's go back, because this is a tornado debris signature. This is more definitive than the other one. South and east of Gosport, the Weather Service is seeing this as well. So I have to assume that we potentially have the confirmed tornado warning coming at any moment, and it's right in the center of the strong shear tracker. So shear,
yeah, right.
Oh man! All right, so that now it's also getting picked up on reflectivity. That is, to me, Adam, this is definitively on the ground at this point. Wait, you got the debris drop, and right where the hook is, south and east of Gosport, and this is hovering along the southern Morgan County.
We just got observed tornado with that one, so there is a tornado on the ground
All
there.
Right. All right, let's wait for it to pop in here. They're going to change that purple polygon. It's going to change over to the purple polygon, which means tornado
right
on
there.
the ground. All right, tornado is on the ground south and east of Gosport, and it's showing up on reflectivity. So we really have to take this seriously at this point. Adam's drawn out a track to 10:01 that reaches the edge of the warning. And Adam, I think the warning ran until 10 o'clock, right? Or was it 10:30?
Warning goes until 10:30, yes. So we still got 30 minutes
All
on
right.
that one.
Let's go all the way street level into this thing. And we're not forgetting about Johnson County and Morgan County. Adam, put it a little bit further north. It looks like banners. Perfect. All right, so right over Brighton Road, was that West Wampler Road? That is the debris signature. If you have anyone in the path of this in northern parts of Monroe County and southern parts of Morgan County, they need to be in shelter immediately. That's showing up on radar site. I don't know how many thousand feet we're looking up. And there we go. We got a new refresh of that tornado debris track shifting off to the east. Let's get it more ahead of it. And yeah, that is a tornado on the ground. The Weather Service, this is a significant debris ball just north of Steinsville moving east at 40 miles an hour. I-69, I don't know if we have a camera on I-69, but this is going to cross I-69 probably here in the next couple minutes. I know we have a Martinsville camera. Back this out a little bit, Adam. So our closest camera is Martinsville, so we're not going to get a good picture. And then I think our next closest camera is in Bloomington. So we don't have an NDOT camera probably in the vicinity of this. But Adam just highlighted, this is 4 miles away from I-69. This is a tornado on the ground. And by 9:58, that's going to go over I-69. If you have any family and friends, let's clear that arrow and get some of the roads. Just get the debris track in there. So then you got West Burma Road, North Buskirk Road. These are spots directly in the path of this tornado. It is a significant tornado on the ground potentially here, and the debris is showing up on radar. And Adam, how many thousand feet are we looking up?
Let's see.
It's got to be only a couple thousand here. Let me check here, because I think it's probably only looking up. That's looking up 1,700 feet.
Okay.
So 1,700 feet, you're seeing debris being lofted in the atmosphere. Please take shelter immediately. If you know family and friends on I-69, they need to be in shelter immediately. Let's check back in on the Franklin area of rotation off to the east. And to me, Adam,
It looks like it's weakening out a bit with that one.
that's what I was going to say. So our big concern here is the tornado on the ground. Adam's going to walk you through just...
You can still see it. It's very faint. You're not seeing the returns, but you're still seeing a little bit of that hook as it actually just crossed over 65. So spots with this one likely going to be next. So we see the way it's been tracking pretty much due east. So it's likely going to pass south of Shelbyville, but that area rotation, it's likely going to pass. So.
All right, so our greatest concern at this point by far is that potentially significant tornado on the ground in northern parts of Monroe County and kind of straddling the line there with southern parts of Morgan County. I can't emphasize this enough. You need to take this very seriously. This was the concern going into tonight, that we would get something like this to potentially develop, and now we have one of these on the ground. So you need to be in your tornado safe space. This is getting closer to I-69 as we speak.
And again,
So it's right here. What is that? So that's Turkey Track.
That's going to cross over really within the next
Yes.
2-3 minutes, honestly.
Adam, if you could just back it off a little. I'm trying to see where the county line. I'm pretty sure this is the county line. Yes. So this is the county line. Here's Ellettsville for reference. Bloomington further to the south. But our county line is right here. Morgan County and northern parts of Monroe County. And Adam just put this in loop. That's when we first noticed a tornado on the ground, south and east of Gosport. It's been on the ground, or that at least that debris signature has been getting picked up as it's gone further to the east, now closing in on I-69. It should be crossing very shortly. We do not have an NDOT camera close, but this is not good, Adam. That I'm seeing the reflectivity pick up on it as well. We're kind of going quickly back to Johnson County.
They just extended the
new one?
confirmed, yes.
All right, let's kind of broaden out to include both warnings. So, it is...
that one was just dropped
right.
by Franklin. It's still a severe thunderstorm warning, but the tornado warning has dropped on that one.
All right, to reset here. Tornado warning has been dropped for Johnson and Shelby County. I'm meteorologist Ryan Morse, meteorologist Adam Fike. He's driving the radar. He has our tornado debris ball fully in picture, so let's stop it right there and get both warnings in picture. Northern parts of Morgan County, or I should say northern parts of Monroe County, southern parts of Morgan County in that first tornado warning. That new confirmed tornado warning, that's the purple highlighted areas. It's right over 69 as we speak. So hopefully anyone on the roads took this seriously, because this just crossed I-69. And I would reach out to family and friends if they're on I-69 to potentially check in with them. But this is located about 8 miles southwest of Martinsville and 10 miles north of Bloomington, moving east at 45 miles an hour. This new tornado warning that we had issued is Brown County, southern Johnson County, and northwest Bartholomew County. That's the new tornado warning that's highlighted in purple here. Adam, I'd say we just draw out a track that includes all these areas, because it's on the ground. Got to take it seriously immediately. We're starting to get close. We'll start to get closer with the Brown County line. Again, it's hovering on the northern Monroe, southern Morgan County line. Adam, it was moving east.
At 45.
45. I would even draw it maybe, like the way you are.
And the wordage with this is considerable.
Yes.
That's the wordage that the National Weather Service is using for the damage on this tornado currently.
All right. So that's Morgantown at 10:14, Princess Lake at 10:25, and Clifford at 10:42. This is a serious situation. When you have a debris ball that, Adam, we're picking up a couple thousand feet up, this is a considerable, potentially strong tornado that's on the ground. And
Watch it look at the damage as it crossed over 69. It's just getting heavier and heavier.
It's not
So that's just
good.
more and more debris that's just continuing to get lofted up into the air. Holy cow.
This is not good. Let's go all the way into towns. Let's try to get some more of these people some heads up. I can't really read that one, but I can't really read that. Can you read that? It's kind of on top of a couple of roads there.
If I'm pronouncing it right, Hindustan?
Hindustan. I think that might be the
Just
proper
passing
one.
north. And if I mispronounce that, I really do apologize.
And then I'm just kind of reading the roads here. It's right on top of Old State Road 37.
I can't read
Yeah, at this
that
point,
one.
we're probably getting too close. This one is Bryant's Creek, East Bryant's Creek Road, the tornado right on top of there. But we mentioned this the last hour or so, like, we are getting these radar images that sometimes are a minute or two delayed. So we're likely going to get the new one east of Hindustan. Bear Wallow, Fleener, these are all spots in the path. And, oh man, Adam, did you see that reflectivity image?
Right there.
I would go show the reflectivity image. That is nasty.
Yep, right as it crosses into
So that
new
is
warning.
nasty. When you're getting the pinks And what the blackish white shading is at times, that's the debris getting picked up on reflectivity. So no doubt about it, it is on the ground probably right now
look at
as
that
it's
new
going
scan.
off to this is unfortunate. Let's get this road. We can get some people warning here. I don't know what road this is, but this is direct.
It is unnamed, the one south.
The one that's east, this one that's, I can't read it. It's Blossom Road. This one right here, Blossom Road.
There we go.
There we go. North Landrum Road, Service Road. What is that one? Go back into that one. Is that Rosenbaum Road? These are spots that are directly in the path of the confirmed tornado on the ground. Let's back up to throw the debris ball in there.
Yeah.
Tornado closing in on all those roads I just said in northern parts of Morgan County, or northern parts of Monroe County, I should say. And the Brown County line is right here. So this is about getting ready to cross into Brown County. At that point, northern Brown County, you need to be in your safe spot immediately. This is a confirmed tornado warning now. I don't want to lose sight, Adam. All right, that's exactly what I was just going to say.
Okay.
Make sure we weren't missing any warnings.
The warning, severe thunderstorm warning in Shelby County, that has expired. There is a new severe thunderstorm warning. So that's heading towards Bloomington. Yeah, we can see some gusty winds with that one approaching Bloomington as well. Higher up in the atmosphere,
Okay.
gusts approaching. Now, again, this is higher up in the atmosphere,
Yeah.
so that's not necessarily observed at the ground. But this means we could see wind gusts up towards 70 miles per hour if it can reach the ground with that one as well. But holy cow, look at the velocity.
I know, this is not a good situation. I should mention, while Adam has that broad picture, Bloomington, a lot of these areas in Monroe County, you have your tornado sirens going off. It's extreme northern Monroe County. And this is just hovering Monroe, Morgan County line, about to go to the Brown County line. Ellettsville, same thing. You're probably hearing all the sirens going off. There is very heavy rain that's about to push into your area. Nothing rotating with that for the moment, but that is, it's tough to see. That is as conclusive as you can get to confirm tornado, unfortunately, here, Adam. All right, I kind of like the way you have it here with the picture. So Morgantown's starting to come into picture, Waycross, Bear Wallow. I don't know if we can draw one of those small arrows to Bear Wallow, try to give them some heads up.
Yeah, that's practically, when you looked at the loop, that's practically head on there. So that's
Yeah, it's 10:08. All right, so Bear Wallow,
really within the next, let's say, 4 minutes, if even that.
yeah. Well, what time is it? Is it 10:04?
It is 10:04,
right,
and again, we're going to
10:04.
be lagging a little bit with this image. So actually, let's.
Bear Wallow, any minute. You need to be down in your safe spot. You have to get there right now. Was that Fruitdale at 10:14?
So subtract 4 to 5 minutes, so 10:10.
Yes, and then Cornelius is down there, Spearsville. These are
10:18.
all spots
10:15.
in the direct route of a tornado on the ground. And to give you an idea, here's the county line. It's tough because you're probably hearing the sirens going off in all sorts of counties because it's hovering the county line. But the county line for Brown County and southern parts of Johnson County is right where Adam's going to kind of draw this track, unfortunately. So going to the east, I think it was 40?
45.
45. All right, and what's starting to come into picture, we'll keep that broad view. To give some additional heads up, Bartholomew County is starting to come into picture too. If we get more of an extension, the warning does include western parts of Bartholomew County. There's been some spots that have been hit hard over the last couple years. But if this remains on the ground, it'd be on track through northern parts of Brown County and parts of Bartholomew County. Here's Nashville. Nashville, you're in this tornado warning, but the tornado is off to your north and west. Still should be in your safe spot. And an additional tornado warning that Adam's highlighting here in Sullivan, and it looks like Greene County until 10:45. We'll get back to that warning because we really have to just be on the one on the ground. And that other one's more on the outside edge of our viewing area. Okay. So Bear Wallow, this is closing in any second to you. We're starting to get areas, we really don't have cameras, unfortunately. I wish we had some cameras in these locations. I did want to mention this, unfortunately, Adam. It looks like National Weather Service has said traffic has slowed almost to a stop on I-69. And we remember the tornado crossed I-69. Oh, man, and that is another nasty update to the signature there, Adam. Let's go back to, let's kind of sort through. Let's do velocity next, because I'm sure it's probably, all right, it's right here, a small spot there. I don't know if we can get some readings on that. This is a tight area of rotation. The bright greens are right up to the bright green reds, closing in on Bear Wallow, now going into northern parts of, looks like northern parts of Brown County. The winds that Adam's broadly getting within the cell, you can see the gusts even away from the circulation, 40 to 50 miles an hour. And yeah, that's not a good signature, Adam.
Even further north, you can still see where.
You know what?
I can't tell if that's
what I was just going to say.
If it's originally debris from this, or if that's debris from wind gusts from that one.
We go to reflectivity. This might be debris that's getting lofted.
That's what I can't tell right within there where you see those shades of pink. If this is wind or if that's lofted debris from the storm itself.
Yeah, we might get debris getting lofted to the point. That's unfortunate there.
Yeah, just based off our velocity scans and our shear, that is more than likely debris that is lofted.
I will say this. Put the velocity in motion here, because obviously the debris ball is going to hang on even once it lifts. The last couple of scans, the last scan or two, it might be a little weaker. And that's our hope. The debris ball's there, but you go back to velocity. So it was really tight as it crossed I-69. While we have this broad picture, National Weather Service is saying standstill traffic at I-69 when this crossed. I really hope no one was hurt on the roads as this was crossing.
Yeah, look at reflectivity. It's starting to weaken a little bit.
Reflectivity goes down too. All right, so hopefully this is the trend that we see. Now, it could be on the ground still. We got to start with there, but that reflectivity thing backs off just barely in the last couple loops. And so my hope is we'll get the next scan here, Adam, and that pinkish shading is gone.
Actually, here's a good indication that it's weakening too. We continue to mention that a lot of the storms, once we see it start to dive a little bit more southeast, like we saw with a few of those scans, notice how in the last scan or two, it's trying to turn a little bit more northeast. So that's at least a good indication, since the cold front with these storms is actually progressing southeast. When you see it progressing with the storm, that's where it's likely going to intensify. But since it's trying to turn a little bit more away from where the storm motion actually is, it's a good indication that we see that trying to weaken out. Still, those shades of pink weakening out as well, but still, unfortunately, still noticing that debris ball there as well, but definitely a lot weaker, so that is the good news.
Well, here's what I'm also thinking here, Adam. Notice how the debris ball kind of expands. When these things start to lift, that ball starts to expand, and then it might get sucked more into the cloud. So maybe we're seeing this, but can't say that for sure. You still need to be in your safe spot immediately at this point. Again, tornado warning, confirmed tornado warning. That's the purple shading we have here, and it's moving into northern parts of Brown County. Here's Morgantown in
they also
southern parts.
They shifted the southern extent up a little bit, so Nashville actually just outside.
Okay, that's a good mention here, Adam. If you did have your phones go off in Nashville, it looks like they shifted this warning to count. It's moving more dead east as opposed to this east-southeast
Even
movement.
a little bit of a northeast tick you can see with that last scan too.
I wonder if it's also might be hooking back in. This is why you still need to be in your safe spot in Morgantown. Because if this thing hooks back in as it's weakening, that's where you could get a northern jog potentially as it's completing its life cycle. So that's why you always get these tornado warnings that are somewhat wide. In case a tornado starting to complete its life cycle, it wraps in, or you get a whole new rotation here. Adam's still got shear track up, and you got plenty of shear.
I mean, look at, we could see where that original rotation is.
Right here.
Southern, we're practically right in the smack dab in the middle. We've seen this a couple times already, where you see that shade of red.
Yeah.
Is where we've seen a little bit more of that rotation start to peak. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a little rotation down there just south of where that original rotation was.
Also, I will say, you said they shortened them. All right.
Bartholomew
County's still in the tornado warning.
From the southern extent.
And southern Johnson County still in the tornado warning. Our trend here is watching to see if this hooks back in or deviates in movement. Our hope here is it's on the ground at this point, but there's nothing definitive Let's go back into velocity. I'm curious here because that reflective, and it looks broader.
Yeah.
That looks much more broad. Adam, run it through the last, yeah, there we go. Do the last like half hour. Notice how tight, or when we refer to tight circulation, the bright greens and bright reds were there in northern parts of Monroe County. Went east, and this is starting to broaden out. So I think our suspicion here, Adam, on that debris potentially getting lofted in the clouds further as the circulation was weakening could be true here. Either way, Morgantown, you should be in your safe spot immediately, considering the rotation's right on top of you. And then southern parts of Johnson County, Trafalgar, right here on the screen. And yeah, here's the last couple scans of our debris ball.
But look at how much of that's now lofted further north.
That kind of has me concerned on how much debris that
If
this
it's getting that far, let's.
Well, Adam, you know what?
Here's the original debris ball. Let's circle that really quickly.
You have to remember our winds are howling at a couple thousand feet above us. So it wouldn't take much to put all this debris to the north and parts of Morgan County.
This is 21 miles away from where we were originally detecting that debris ball.
If that's
if that's the case.
But I suspect that could be the case. You have to remember our winds are so strong a couple thousand feet above us. I'm really hoping we remain safe through this evening, especially as this crossed I-69. I know we have people behind the scenes here. I would be checking in with emergency managers in Monroe County and then also kind of checking in on the traffic-wise things here, because we might have just complete standstill if this thing
Where did we
crossed.
have cameras on 65?
65, I can name them here, but 65, I know.
Because as it starts to approach 65.
Yes, so we'll get those heads up. But 65, we have the Indiana premium outlets that start to come into picture north of Columbus. So that's going to be our primary camera there. That camera is, I think it's close to exit 75. So that's the next camera we'll try to pull as this gets closer. But we probably still have, what, Adam, probably another like 15 minutes until it gets closer to 65. Now our concern here is we'll see if this area of rotation re-intensifies and moves off to the east and kind of gains some steam again.
They just issued a severe thunderstorm warning for that until 11 p.m.
Okay, so they are issuing that new severe thunderstorm warning.
With a possible tornado tag on that one.
Yeah, okay. And I think we'll see how this trends the further east it gets. We'll also see if they can drop the confirmed tornado part of this. I know we have the rotation. Adam, while we're here, let me quickly check in on that warning well south and west. Oh. I just want to make sure we're not overlooking that. All right, so I do want to mention this because Sullivan was hit hard a couple years ago. You have a tornado warning in place. Should be in your safe spot. It's a radar indicated tornado warning. So this isn't like what we just had with the purple shaded confirmed tornado on the ground. Still have to take it seriously because at any point, and it's looking far away, at any point this could be something that goes on the ground. And the difficulty we have with Sullivan County is Sullivan County is so far away from the radar site in Indianapolis and Lincoln, Illinois, that's tough to see what's going on at the ground. So often with these tornado warnings in far western Indiana, sometimes you need the spotter to see it for us to go confirm. So I take that just as seriously. I will mention this too, Adam. This is, each cell we have coming in from Illinois forms a little bit further south, and it's tapping into more of that atmosphere that is, looks like, did they update the tornado warning? What do they do here? I saw a tornado warning pop in our thing. 10:45. I think they might have just updated the timing.
Yeah. No. Bloomington, just moving out of Bloomington, we have a new tornado warning.
Okay, all right. Pause on that latest frame because otherwise a tornado. New tornado warning for Bloomington. I will mention our producers back there. We have a camera in Bloomington. Let's go back to reflectivity. It's this area that's right here.
Right there.
On I-69 as we speak. So if we can pull up that camera, let's two-box it if we can. So this is I-69 in Bloomington. That's camera.
Very windy.
It is gusting. Adam, if you could highlight those velocities in Bloomington.
Again,
all right, so that is tremendous on this camera here.
I think the velocity is going to underdo it a little bit, especially with that first storm in its path. It's going to underestimate this a little bit.
This is nasty right now in Bloomington. So Bloomington, IU, you are under a tornado warning. This is a spot that's been hit hard this year, going back to the February 19th storms. This is a radar-indicated tornado warning. Nothing to indicate right now it's on the ground, but as we're looking at that Bloomington camera, it looks pretty nasty there with the wind and rain. This is our lone camera in Bloomington, so going right over the top of you. All right, so Adam, what we're going to do here is go between both these warnings. So let's go pop in all the way street level into Bloomington. The area of rotation, Clear Creek, is off to the south of the warning. 69, Bloomington. IU is right here. So IU, you are in the path of this area of circulation, which is not confirmed on the ground. So right here is IU's campus. You have State Road 45, Arlington, Hunter Switch, and again, what Adam has pulled up here is a shear tracker. It's showing the rotation.
Yeah, you can see that.
That looks like strong winds. The velocity, either way, I think you have strong winds, and we can see it on our Bloomington camera here. The wind's howling. I'm looking at people traveling on the roads there. You can see it. That truck that just went by had the hazards on. So if you know anyone in Bloomington, need to be in your safe spot immediately. We still continue with a confirmed tornado warning off to the north. Let's go back into that one, and we'll take you out of the 2 box because I think we might have had it just cross I-69. So we'll go back to the one in, again, northern Brown County. Northern Brown County, I would say the velocity is trying yet again. Adam, what do you think? I think this is trying to, it looks like those last couple frames, it's trying, it's still a broad circulation. If you've been following, if you're just jumping in here, whether it be on WRTV here or WRTV on Facebook, this is the one that's already produced a tornado. And it potentially was a strong tornado in northern parts of Monroe County, and now we have it kind of broad into Brown County.
It looks like it's trying to cycle a little bit because the past few loops it weakened, and then just honestly the last loop or two it actually re-intensified a little bit.
All right, we're getting our camera ready for 65, so we'll hold off on this until it gets close to 65. It's not too far away from the Indiana premium outlets on 65. But let's bounce back to the Bloomington one because this is going through a very populated area. You have decent amount of wind getting picked up there. That's storm relative velocity, the actual velocity signature.
Yeah.
I mean, that's 60 to 70 miles an hour with the winds. It's looking up probably a couple thousand feet, but that is very strong wind going directly through Bloomington and IU. You still have the velocity, so the velocity coupled with that red that's going away from our radar site in Indianapolis, it doesn't look as strong. It is a radar-indicated tornado warning, so there's nothing to say this is on the ground for the time being. We're pulling up our Bloomington camera and kind of eyeballing the storm to see where it is. It's now east of I-69, so our Bloomington camera is on I-69. You can still see a lot of lightning and heavy rain on that camera, and they're moving that camera around. This is NDOT controlling that camera, trying to get a look. Still a tremendous amount of heavy rain. Some cars slow on the road. But I think we're going to take away that camera now that the tornado, the area circulation likely east of I-69. So what Adam's drawing this out, it's moving east-southeast at about 45 miles an hour. Some locations in its path. Obviously, you're starting to get into Brown County State Park, too. It's one of the spots that was hard hit last year, but we'll see. It's just radar-indicated rotation for now. Lake Monroe's right here as well in the southern parts of that warning. And Adam has drawn it out, so that takes it all the way to Seymour at 1058 if it holds together here.
There we go. Let's show
Yeah,
that
there we
again.
go.
There we go. We can see that. Yeah.
Let's also draw it out to, say, Brown County State Park. That's just the halfway mark right here. So right in Brown County State Park where we got hit last year. So 1038. So there's a little reference point, southern parts of Brown County at 1038. It kind of looks suspicious here, Adam. Like we might be trying to get a hook.
Yeah, look at that.
All right.
Intensified there.
Yep, so this area of rotation is now intensifying. It looks like just on the northeast side of Bloomington. Adam's running through the scans, and you notice the red's starting to surge here, and the green's going away. It's trying to do that dance we've been talking about. So let's pause on that last frame. East State Road 45, East Kerr Creek Road East State Road 46, all need to be in your safe spot immediately. We're starting to see this intensify. We're not getting any debris, thankfully, right now. But given what just happened in northern Monroe County, you need to take shelter immediately. We saw the northern part of the cell in northern Monroe County put down a tornado and then go into, what was it? It went into northern parts of Brown County. So these cells are starting to tap into energy that hasn't been there through today because it's been getting up to Indianapolis where we had rain worked over. These spots in southwestern Indiana spit out some sun later on in the day. So this is where the energy is and for the storms to take off at this point.
They're really moving into a more favorable environment.
That's how I'd word it.
And it's really, especially with the one towards Bloomington, notice how there's been some rain, but there hasn't been storms. And it's really just continuing to move into a more open area, like Ryan mentioned, where we saw the sunshine, where we saw the lack of cloud cover. So this will have the opportunity to actually continue to intensify. And we've seen that actually with our latest scans of our base velocity. You can see the green becoming a little bit tighter. You can see it trying to form a little bit more of a couplet as well, but still relatively broad area. Even notice where we had that previous confirmed tornado.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rotation. Debris ball definitely has weakened out a lot of it.
I think we were right here, Adam, in the fact that I think that debris went up into the clouds.
Because look at how much is still there.
Unfortunately, I'm kind of fearful of what we're going to see with the damage if that much debris is getting lost in the cloud. So anyways, notice when the ball was tight, it lost its rotation, the tornado off the ground, and all that debris likely getting lofted in the atmosphere. So that will be over the next couple days figuring out that tornado and the damage it caused.
Yeah, even with this one, you can see the rear flank downdraft really kicking with that one, where you see all these shades of green. So parts of the storm, it basically choked itself off, which is good.
So what Adam's referring to is this back end that's kind of whipping in on the backside that kind of choked off what we had with the inflow and what kind of kicked that tornado off.
So it's likely cooler and moister air that's wrapping into the base of where there was that tornado.
If it's still trying to do a rotation, it's about to get into Bartholomew County.
But look at how broad it is. This is a very good indication that at least for now, it's not rotating together. You see a large, I'll call this a little bit of a large ball of the red and then another one of the green, and they're just sort of sitting there together.
And look what happens initially. This is when the tornado was on the ground. Watch when it first resets.
You very
red
clearly
and green
saw that.
right on top of each other. So both these rotations, I'd say broad, but the way we saw that northernmost tornado uptrend so quickly, you got to take both of these warnings seriously. They're broad rotations for now, and then we'll see if we get some reports of anything happening on the ground. But either way, got to take the warnings more seriously as they're tapping into more unstable air than what some of our cells to the north have for today. We are getting close, though, Adam. At this point, 65 starts to come into picture. Can we go back to reflectivity? Let's see what reflectivity, if there's any rain. All right, I think we try to take our camera. So we had that camera ready, 65, I think it was at exit 75. We'll try to pull that up in a second because it is getting close to 65. This has been our most dangerous storm tonight. It produced a tornado that was likely on the ground for multiple miles, a large debris ball present. All right, our producer did a great job getting this camera back up. So this is I-65 at mile marker 75. And again, this is not too far. This is the Indiana Premium Outlets, basically. It's not too far away. You can see 76A is right there, the Taylorsville Columbus exit.
Actually, there's a good indication because it's right at I-65 US 31, so that's practically right.
It's right here.
If I can.
You can highlight it. It's right here.
Right there.
If this thing tries to wrap and get back on the ground, this camera is directly
that's right where those
back.
gusty winds are heading straight for.
All right, let's hang on to this as we. I'm trying to figure out what direction we're looking. That's the only thing here, because that camera.
I'm trying to tell.
I can pull it up. We're looking south.
Yeah, I was going to say because you can see it, the Taylorsville Columbus towards 31 south. So this is So we're actually in this case, ooh, lots of lightning there.
All right, so
we're actually looking away from the storm itself.
We'll see how close this passes, but ideally we would want the camera looking north. Either way, the strong pocket of wind is about to directly move on top of this camera. I want to stay with it for the refresh, but I do want to go back to Bloomington. Let's quickly touch on Bloomington, keep the camera up, and just make sure we're not missing anything in Bloomington before that cell gets in. All right, so there is very strong wind east of Bloomington. It's going into Brown County State Park here in a second. Over Lake Monroe is here just off to the south. So the strongest winds just north of Lake Monroe about to pass into Brown County. Nashville, you're under this tornado warning. We have 2 tornado warnings across Brown County. The purple shaded one was from our confirmed tornado that it's still showing signs of rotation. We're not seeing the debris ball we had moments ago, but you have the southernmost tornado warning, which is a radar indicated tornado warning. Both of them kind of showing our velocity picking up broadly. Adam, if you're looking at the velocity there, notice the reds kind of picking up. That's the reds going away from our radar site. So we'll have to monitor this very closely. Our confirmed tornado warning is getting closer and closer to I-65. So we'll pull it back up here in a second.
You can kind of, ever so slightly on the red, so let's...
The red's increasing.
So let me stop right with it
gets
here, overlapping with reflectivity. Yeah, you could, when we loop the reflectivity, you can kind of see within that circle area where you're trying to see a hook again.
You're trying to match them. That's the trick to the puzzle. You're trying to match to the velocity, the reflectivity, and like we saw earlier, the debris ball, lofting debris in the atmosphere. Trying to match all 3 to get the full picture here.
So reflectivity is matching up with the velocity where it is trying to rotate again.
So we'll monitor this. This is going into Brown County State Park.
Look at the original one. That's the velocity is really weakening now, especially as we look at the end part of the scale. We really lose the red, and we really just see how outflow dominated this storm is there. So definitely that one still concerning, since you are in a severe thunderstorm warning, and we did have a previous tornado warning with that. Even though it is a severe thunderstorm warning, and we still have the tornado warning on that, you need to be in your safe spots, because again, even wind gusts of 70 to 80 miles per hour with a severe thunderstorm can do just as much damage as a tornado warning would with that as well. So at least at that time, this time, that one is more so outflow dominated, but still, you can still see that one just this quickly moved out of Bloomington. That one's actually chugging along very quickly.
And Adam, I think you hit the nail on the head here, because I keep mentioning last Thursday. Last Thursday.
Look at how big that severe thunderstorm warning is now as well.
And you know what? I wouldn't be shocked if they're starting to extend these severe thunderstorm warnings with a tornado possible tag.
Well, I was going to say, because you see how fast that velocity moves through that tornado warning.
All right. I have the information on that severe thunderstorm warning, so I'll just read it quickly. Severe thunderstorm warning for southern Monroe, southwestern Decatur, Brown County, Bartholomew, Jackson, and Jennings County. And this is for 60-mile-an-hour winds. I don't see the tornado possible tag, but they're likely just given enhanced heads up given what we've seen here.
You still see it trying to rotate a little bit.
I'd say the southernmost one would have the better chance to tap into the energy, just given it's a little bit further south at this point. But
again, this is what we were seeing before, where you see these shades of red or brown. You start to see a little bit of a notch here, actually, where we saw that previous rotation. So still, good notice that this is trying to rotate, so it is still in that tornado warning. So actually, let's overlap that. So that's where we're seeing the little bit of that notch. Yep, that's exactly where we see that reflectivity, where we saw that little bit of a hook. So still concerning that it could produce a little bit of a
need to pay attention. Need to pay attention. We saw how quickly things went downhill in northern Monroe County. Adam, I think that was only like a scan or two, and immediately that went from like no rotation to debris on our radar. And that's the kind of volatile atmosphere we're in. Quickly, let's just broaden things out, because I think we can almost start to give all clears, especially further north. Let's go all the way back. Thankfully, for the Indy metro area and many of these spots north of I-70, our atmosphere was so worked over today from that first round of showers and storms. I wouldn't anticipate much here along I-70 and north. It's these warnings we have now, and we'll likely get this line shifting further south over the next couple hours here, where the main severe threat is going to be. Of course, we still have a severe thunderstorm warning in eastern Illinois, but these are the areas to concentrate in on. Go back to Let's pause that right here.
Yeah,
That does not look good.
Definitive rotation right there.
All right. All right. This might be getting ready to drop a tornado.
We'll have to keep a very close
This is
eye on
south
that
and west of Nashville. Let's zoom all the way in. What's that road? I forget what that road. Belmont State Road 46.
Yeah.
This is a potential tornado that's getting ready to form. That is velocity that's picking up. We'll keep an eye on our debris tracker to see if it picks anything up, but right over Belmont. And west overlooks in its path, north lookout. Of course, now we're starting to get into parts of Brown County State Park, a spot that was hit hard last year. But that's, I think, our biggest area of concern now. Yeah, all right, so Adam's drawing this out, west overlook at 1037, and it looks like further into Brown County at 1044. And Columbus and Bartholomew County have to start paying attention to this. Also, let's do one last check.
Actually, really quickly, again, like we've been mentioning, when the storms start to take that more northeastern route, look at the past few scans, how it's actually trying to turn a little bit more east, southeast a little bit, likely indicating that it is trying to strengthen, which is why we've started to see a little bit of that rotation as well. So wouldn't be surprised to see that try to trek a little more south and east, but definitely still very closely need to keep an eye on that.
I figured while we do this, we have very strong wind that's going back to that camera we had that we've been waiting on. So let's double box that camera because, Adam, if you highlight some of these winds here, this is right about to go over US 31 and I-65, right where we have this camera. And you can see plenty of lightning strikes on this camera. It is looking south, so the area of rotation is going to pass just off to the north. But Adam is highlighting some of these wind gusts just getting picked up probably a couple thousand feet. That's 50, 60, 70 mile an hour winds. Even if you don't have something circulating here, that could easily do damage. So watch this camera and see if any people start hitting the brakes or anything. But the strongest winds of this northernmost cell is going directly over I-65. The warning runs until 10:45. I wouldn't be shocked if the National Weather Service backs off that warning earlier because we're starting to get closer to the edge of that warning, and it is broad circulation. However, I think they might have to issue a new severe thunderstorm warning given the winds on that.
Yeah, and they're very closely watching the one down in Brown County as well.
I agree. I fully agree with them. The most concern for our next tornado would be the one south and west of Nashville about to go into Brown County State Park.
Let's loop that.
Yeah, let's loop that. And that one south and west of Nashville is showing more rotation. The southern parts of Johnson County are right in picture here. And again, that area of rotation is definitely broader than the one south and west of Nashville. And sometimes, Adam, the best way to look at this is reflectivity, which you have up.
Yeah.
And you can see
there's
even
a
this hook.
stronger hook than where it was before, too, that last scan.
It developed in the last couple scans. So this is where you monitor the next scan and see if that's the trend. Because if we have multiple scans like that, the more and more likely you get the chance of a tornado popping on a map. I'm just curious. Let's go to our debris tracker. Because we would see debris pretty quickly if it's going into Brown County State Park.
Not at the moment. What's actually interesting, like the one that was just in that confirmed tornado, it's moving directly east while the rotation on that one in Brown County is still moving southeast. So still a good chance that it could at least try to intensify a little bit. Yeah, look at all the shear track there.
But even this, I know it's broader, but all right, they did shorten the tornado warning. I do want to give some all clears. Bloomington, you're all clear now. Tornado warning is now off to your south and east. Ellettsville too. And again, our behind-the-scenes people are going to be checking in on northern parts of Monroe County. That is where we had a definitive tornado on the ground, lofting debris in our atmosphere, unfortunately. And at this point, we really just hope we didn't have anyone hurt, because it did cross I-69. We have our camera on the right side of the screen. That is 65 near the Indiana premium outlets where the stronger wind is about to pass over. So we'll see if that camera starts to get a little bit more crazy here in the next couple minutes. But for now, I think our biggest spot probably watching, what Adam's thrown up is the radar image to match what our camera is. And Adam, I just see strong winds. I don't see, looks like heavy rain.
Looks like heavy rain. You can see you can't really see it if you're looking at the road, but if you look towards more so the top, I would say top right part of your screen, you can see the light poles where you can see the camera trying to shake a little bit. So definitely stronger winds with this as well. They haven't issued a new severe thunderstorm warning on that yet.
I'd anticipate probably one coming.
Because wind gusts with that.
All right, there you go. I think we got. Did we get a new severe thunderstorm warning?
Not yet. Not yet.
But
again, still gusts. You see potentially those upper level winds still 65 to 70 miles per hour. Again, this is higher up in the atmosphere, so it doesn't mean it's directly reaching the ground, but any gusts that can reach the ground could potentially be closer to that 60 to 65 miles per hour as well.
All right, to me, the one that is definitely more nasty, let's pull off this camera, is the one south and west of Nashville. We still have the hook on the last scan. So that's 2 or 3 scans in a row where on reflectivity have this hooking nature south and west of Nashville. We have a tornado warning in place for Brown County. It also extends into extreme parts of western Bartholomew County. So Bartholomew County...
Yeah, you can really see here on the shear where it's hooking,
if you're in Bartholomew County, this is going through Brown County State Park.
As we speak, there is that new severe thunderstorm warning with that one further
north
as well.
That was with one that we were just checking in on the camera. We had a confirmed tornado warning that's set to expire. Now a severe thunderstorm warning, not to overlook this, but this is northern parts of Bartholomew County. What is that? Is that Southern Rush?
That is in Shelby, Bartholomew.
Southern Shelby, my bad. So Southern Shelby and Bartholomew County under that new severe thunderstorm
warning. It technically touches extreme western Decatur.
Western Rush. All right, so those are the 3 counties in that new severe thunderstorm warning. Our hope here is that the Weather Service is going to drop that tornado warning. So that brings our entire focus to this one that's rotating through Brown County State Park as we speak, south and east of Nashville. I will tell our producers, we're not going to take the camera yet, but we do have, I think it's exit 68 for Columbus. We do have a couple cameras, and unfortunately, we've checked in on these cameras the last couple years with severe weather that has seemed to hit Bartholomew County. So we'll see as it gets a little bit closer. All right, we're going to send things over to Malia Van Ostrand and see what she's seeing as we have this line of storms that's pushing out. So Malia, where are you and what are you seeing?
So I'm here in Trafalgar right now. I'm taking shelter underneath this platform here at a speedway, but I'm here with Tyson and Red. So we just met them. They are here storm chasing. They've been following kind of what's been happening tonight. So why are you guys out here in this weather storm chasing tonight?
Well, we've always loved storms. We've been chasing them for the past couple years, and well, this one was close, so we were just like, let's go.
We're trying to get in the middle of a tornado, so I mean, we thought it'd be pretty cool.
All right, so what have you seen so far tonight since you've been out?
Well, we haven't really seen much because I mean it's dark out and we can't
see when you're driving, but
can't see anything.
All right, so you're hoping to see a tornado. You're kind of hoping to be in the middle of it, which could be pretty dangerous. So if you're out there, make sure you are inside taking shelter if you are in the path right now of any tornado or severe storm coverage right now. But we will have more updates for you. We're in Trafalgar right now, but we will have an update in the next half hour for you. Reporting live in Trafalgar, I'm Malia Van Ostrand for WRTV News.
All right, thank you, Malia. And while Malia can probably hear us and our producers, I do want to emphasize she's not too far away. Adam, I don't know if you can go back and show our debris ball back in northern Monroe County and stretching close. It wasn't too far away from Trafalgar, so she may be able to get some reports. So what was this? This was about, what, an hour ago? So again, Malia's in Trafalgar. The debris track of the tornado on the ground was south and west of Morgantown, past I-69. So she's not too far away from where that tornado was on the ground. And that was, what was that? Go back to, so that was 10:24. When it was first on the ground near Gosport, that was near 10 o'clock. So near 10 o'clock, it crossed I-69. So we'll see if Malia gets any reports from kind of people in the area. But that was a strong and dangerous tornado on the ground. So we'll see if Malia gets any reports. 9:45. All right, so 9:45 is when we saw that. Back to what we currently have. No camera to our producers who were just talking to my ear. No camera. I was just telling her if she happens to go out that way, that's where we had the tornado on the ground. All right, let's reset things here back to where we have the current tornado warning in place.
It's that hook is definitely tighter than
okay.
it was.
I'm starting to grow concerned here. That's tight. All right, we got to start getting ready here. Adam, you have to remember this is in the middle of Brown County State Park. We had that tornado May 16th last year that went through almost the identical area. If we start getting debris lofted on our atmosphere or on our radar site, we will see it really quick. But that is some rotation that is definitely tight at this moment in Brown County, about to exit into Bartholomew County. Bartholomew County, I know western parts are in the tornado warning. I'd start getting prepared, especially in southwestern parts of the county. Let's pause it and just get a track on some of these smaller locations maybe in southwestern Bartholomew County. So let's get Jonesville and Elizabethtown in it. I forget the movement on it. I think it was east-southeast. East-southeast, probably 35, 40 miles an hour, I have to imagine here.
So Jonesville, closer to that, let's say 10:55 to 11.
Yes. And Elizabethtown, probably similar here. So I'm just going to go out and say this. Based on what Adam and I are seeing, I think we're going to get probably another tornado warning heading this direction.
Literally right as
and
you
there
see
you
that,
go.
there's that
so
warning.
there's the new tornado warning we have in place.
Until 11:15.
Okay, until 11:15. This is a radar indicated rotation. This is in the middle of Brown County State Park right now and moving off to the south and east. So Jonesville, that place we just highlighted, around 11 o'clock was your arrival time. Columbus, you're probably hearing sirens going off. Warning is for southwestern parts of Bartholomew County. And I'll talk to my producers in advance. I know we have a couple cameras. Seymour's exit 50. I'm pretty sure we have a couple of cameras north, so we can work on that. We don't need it for a couple more minutes until that area of rotation gets a little closer. But as we're looking for these cameras, if we can ideally find something north of Seymour, south of Columbus, and potentially looking the right direction. Ooh, is that starting to be debris? I don't know.
I can't tell.
I can't tell either.
Because
it kind of matches, though.
Because actually, let's circle this right here.
It matches.
Right where we see that little bit of a ball right there is right.
I think. Well,
it's very, very close.
It's iffy. It looks like it's
It's
right
just
on
out
top
ahead.
of the velocity.
I would say no at this time.
Me too. That's
it's
what I was
just
gonna
out
say.
ahead.
And plus, when we had the tornado go through here May 16th, we had the debris. You saw it very quickly, and that was it. So we'll see. We'll monitor here. But that new tornado warning, I'm just going to... I should also mention that northern tornado warning is set to expire. So that...
Really within the next couple seconds.
Yes. So that we can start to give some all clears. There's still going to be heavy rain around here in the next hour or so, especially in northern parts of Brown County and then stretching back into southern parts of Johnson County. But those in this purple polygon, it is about to disappear from our screen. So you can start to rest easy a little bit more. All right, so here is our tornado warning, the new one in place. I'm going to read the details of this new tornado warning. So this includes... It's in Brown County right now, but this includes southwestern Bartholomew County, as we mentioned, Jackson County, Jennings County, and runs until 11:15. This is radar indicated rotation, but as Adam and I have been mentioning, it looks like it's tightening. We don't have any debris on radar and hoping that trend holds, but we saw how quickly it went downhill in northern Monroe County a little bit earlier.
Look at the past 10 minutes, how quick, as it's moving southeast, how quickly it advances in those last two scans, which is a good indication that it is still intensifying pretty quickly.
And I agree with Adam. The way this is kind of trending, we'll see. We are looking up a couple thousand feet. Also, additional details on that warning. It's moving. They have the movement out of the east at 55 miles an hour. To me, it's more east-southeast. But neither here or there. And what Adam's also highlighting, we don't want to forget these other severe thunderstorm warnings, because Adam just highlighted in Hope, in southern parts of Shelby County, you have estimated winds 60, 70, and maybe isolated up to 80 miles an hour. You have to take that just as seriously as a tornado warning, because think a weak EF0 tornado, Adam, what is it? Maximum wind 65 to 85. That's an EF on the EF scale. So when you're getting wind to this level, wind is wind, whether it's a tornado or straight line winds.
Still enough to bring down small trees.
Yes.
Like we saw last week towards Greenwood, where we saw even larger.
Southport.
Yeah, had larger limbs that were pulled down as well, with more so those gusty winds, not necessarily a tornado.
It doesn't necessarily need to be a tornado to cause damage here. We're still watching this one as it's about to cross over into Bartholomew County at this point, but we just want to not forget you up here with the severe thunderstorm warning in northern parts of Bartholomew and southern parts of Shelby County. All right, it looks like we just got a new scan there. Did anything happen on that scan? You still have the hook.
Yeah, again on velocity
I
there.
don't like it. I don't like this trend. All right, what about correlation? The debris tracker.
Still what we saw before, and I don't know if that's just scatter from the storms further north.
Also, Adam, let's shift this a little bit further north. We're starting to get close to the banner. There we go. All right, thank you. Yeah, so this is tightening as it's going into southwestern parts of Bartholomew County. This is exiting Brown County State Park. If you live in southwestern Bartholomew County, you need to take shelter immediately. This is real deal. It is a radar-indicated tornado warning, but given it's coming out of Brown County State Park, you probably wouldn't have many reports if it was on the ground. So we just got to take this very seriously as it goes off to the. I know the warning is east at 50 miles an hour, as Adam and I kind of are highlighting with that arrow. I think it's more east-southeast at 50 to 55 miles an hour. We did have that camera lined up. I did have our great producers.
We do have a new tornado warning north, so
that's why we don't forget about these.
That's for Bartholomew County, until 11:30.
All right, let's throw up reflectivity.
That again is a radar indicated.
All right, this looks a little sloppy, but it does look like this area south and east of Clifford is the reason why we have the tornado warning in place, especially that scan before.
Yeah, the previous few
the
scans
previous
you saw
scan, that most recent one doesn't look as tight compared to that one, but that new tornado warning, so to be clear here in Bartholomew County, Adam, zoom out to show both, because I don't want any confusion. You have two tornado warnings. So you have one for northeastern parts of the county, and then also southwestern parts of the county, Bartholomew County. And that one southwest, to me, still looks mean compared to that one to the north and east, but have to take shelter immediately. Look at that, our automated thing turned on there. That's showing the rotation too, so it is agreeing with us.
That one's a little bit behind.
It is behind, but the way it's kind of like dancing around each other.
That one's still really rotating.
We'll see if we get any debris to. Ooh.
Let's pause that.
Yeah, let's pause that. Curious what we're seeing here.
Right within here. So there's our velocity. There's our hook.
I mean,
it is close. I can't tell.
It's close. If you are in southwestern Bartholomew County, it's exiting Brown County. You need to take this very seriously at this point. Notice how there's no debris also on that one in northern Bartholomew County. That northern one in Bartholomew County, I think, ran until, was it 11:30?
That's until 11:30.
All right, so 11:30, and this southern mode one is. I think the southern mode one might have also been 11:30. So you need to be in your safe spot in Bartholomew County. Two separate tornado warnings in place. Let's get that other one fully in place, because now we're starting to get to the point we're getting near 65. So Seymour is exit 50A and 50B. I know we have cameras there. I don't know, Columbus is exit 68. I know we have a camera there. I don't know if we ideally have a camera between Seymour and Columbus, that would be best here. We'll try to pull that up. I see that we're dancing on the cameras in the background. Let's go two box. I'm not sure where this camera is off to our, all right, we have our two box up. Jacob, if you could get my ear and tell me where this one is. If it looks like mile marker 58. Okay. Okay, it's also at mile marker 58. So this is north of Seymour. To broaden things out, Adam, go back and we can actually pull up where those keep going out. So Seymour's right here. We can just do this manually where the camera, just draw out a mile marker thing 8 miles north. This might be directly in its path. We have a ruler, if you want me to quickly pull it up.
There we go, yes.
Yeah, so try to draw just 8 miles north. So like our camera's right here-ish. So our camera's directly in the path of this thing.
If not, it's a little south, so it's going to be heading that
All right,
direction.
Also, what direction is this camera? If this is
it
looking
looks
north,
like it's pointed north.
All right, it's looking north. So this is about to get a really good look if this thing's on the ground or not. I mean, you can never fully guarantee you're going to see it. But did you highlight that area where that camera was? All right, our camera froze.
Okay.
We'll keep it up. Keep it up just in case it comes and reconnects here. I'm talking to Jacob behind the scene. I would take one. Do we have one further north that's still south of Columbus? If we have one of those, I would take that. I hope that camera didn't go offline because of this. It's the other thing that you always have to be careful of. All right, so exit 68 is Columbus. Here comes our thing north. What is that?
Right within
Mount Healthy, Waymansville, Rosstown, all in the direct line of where we're seeing circulation. We don't have any debris being lofted in the thing.
Okay.
It looks like all traffic cameras.
We don't
are
have
down.
anything, so.
So that makes me think like we might have strong winds going through this too, because we usually have a couple cameras there. So, all right, I'd say the concern here is now with this one that is approaching 65.
It is still a very tight couplet there.
Yeah, that's a tight couplet. Let's briefly throw up debris. Let's see if that trended from when we saw it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't rule it out, but it does pop up directly where that rotation is. All right, we have our new camera on State Road 46, so let's pop that up. Let me get an idea of this. So that's at mile marker. This is directly in the line of it, Adam. I don't know if we can back out. So again, exit 68 is Columbus. This is mile marker, it looks like 66. It's probably right here, somewhere right in the path of this. So we'll stick on this camera. State Road, actually, Adam, you know what? We can zoom in and find State Road 46. Let's see. Might have to bounce around a little bit. Where was Columbus? Go back up to Columbus.
So Columbus, right there.
Oh, wait, no, the Columbus one is. So, all right, we're actually technically up here. So State Road 46, Columbus.
Yeah.
All right.
And we're looking south into
all right,
so
we are looking south, though. Let's stick on this.
Oh.
And just a tremendous amount of lightning.
Look at that recent scan. It's even tighter.
All right, I'm worried this might be getting ready to go on the ground.
Right there.
All right, that might be the debris. All right, we'll take this. Jonesville, I will call you out. Jonesville, is that overlaps with our reflectivity, correct?
Let's circle that really quickly.
All right, because Jonesville, if that's it, you need to be in your safe spot immediately. Yep. All right, Jonesville, you need to be in your safe spot immediately. This might be a tornado on the ground.
It is right.
Our camera's right here, right near that 65 shield, just north of it. So we're getting a ton of rain, and you can see that camera on the right side of your screen there. But that is tight at this point.
Yeah.
We'll see if we get. You can't completely say that's a debris signature, I'd say at this point, but. West of Jonesville, about to cross 65. All right, Jonesville, we have a camera in Jonesville. All right, we're definitely going to watch this camera.
We have spotter public tornado damage as of 10:53 Eastern Time, Buskirk Road, 1 mile south of Burma Road.
Which one is that for?
That is near the Monroe and Morgan.
Oh, that's the one from earlier. All right,
okay.
All right, so this one is directly. It's our Jonesville camera. So this might get it going right across. I don't know, Jacob, if you can see. The directions are in the bottom right. I can't really see it. Southeast. So we're looking southeast.
So that's going to be directly overhead.
All right, let's keep an eye on this camera and see if we see anything. There's a ton of lightning at this point. It is nighttime, so obviously it's just tough to see. You can see a tremendous amount of lightning. I'm also looking at 65 if we have people potentially stopping on 65. We're unsure if that's a debris signature, but either way, the velocity where the area is actually rotating is crossing 65. It looks, I mean, what? That's a weird signature velocity-wise, that refresh there. All right, Adam's playing it through. I mean, whatever we're about to see is about to go through Jonesville. This is our Jonesville camera. You have plenty of lightning strikes. I'm looking in the background on some of those lightning flashes. Also keep an eye on some of those cars. If they come to a stop really quick, that can sometimes also be an indicator if anything's crossing the road. But you have plenty of lightning strikes. And did you see our rotation tracker automated even picked it up for a scan or two? What is that, minute by minute? Yeah, that's a minute by minute storm relative velocity. All right, we'll hang out here for a second. I also don't know if the traffic cameras on the north side of Jonesville directly even with Jonesville or south of Jonesville, but we are looking south and east on that camera. And the rotation continues to be somewhat tight. This is south and west of Columbus, and I just got word from Jacob, our producer. Our camera's actually dead even with Jonesville. So we'll see here, because it looks like it's moving directly that direction.
If not just a little past, yeah. The latest scans either show it just right overhead or just slightly past.
The only thing here is, Adam, I can't tell if that's a debris signature. Though we're probably looking up thousands and thousands of feet, and look at the noise we're getting around this thing. Yeah, it's tough to tell because it does overlap directly with our reflectivity and our velocity. It's a tough call. Either way, you need to be in your safe spot. Seymour is also included in this tornado warning, and North Vernon just outside that tornado warning. All right, I don't want to leave out this other tornado warning we should mention here. There's not much rotation, so we're going to jump right back into the one that I think actually poses the bigger risk. So the one in northern parts of Bartholomew County will probably be let to expire or canceled early. Ooh. All right, that's a little concerning. That last frame right here.
Still rotating very
That looks
closely.
somewhat tight of rotation. We're going to find out that the shear tracker is definitely picking up on it, getting close to our Jonesville camera. If you guys behind the scenes happen to see anything that happens on the Jonesville camera, just let us know. We have it in our double box here, side by side. So the Jonesville camera right to the west. If we have a potential tornado, it would be just west of Jonesville, probably under 2 miles at this point, closing in on 65. And our radar scans, they're what happened. So we are getting these a couple minutes delayed at times. So we'll see if we get the newest refresh, and it's near I-65 at this point. But Jonesville, even Elizabethtown, you need to be in your safe spot immediately. A tornado warning runs here until, I believe it was 11:30. So we are noting that area of circulation basically on top of you at this point. I still see people going normal speeds on the road in the background, which is sometimes an indicator here if anything's crossing. Tornado warning in place. The northernmost one, I believe, expires at, I think it was 11:15. But all eyes on this one. I'm looking in the background of this camera, Adam, not noticing much.
No.
Still pointing at lightning. There's no doubt there. But I don't know if that debris signature was if it was a debris signature or not. While we have a second, yeah, we'll see. That it looked a little noisy now that I'm watching this back potentially, Adam. Like, I don't know if this was getting some interference with the stuff to the west. That was definitely not any sort of debris, but it is interesting that that little debris thing comes up directly over where we had rotation. Let's broaden things out. I want to make sure we don't have any other tornado warnings besides these two.
So,
all right, and then we have the one expired in Greene County. So
new severe thunderstorm warning towards Terre Haute, but that's really it other than these.
All right.
That one, the other warning has expired, but it's still this one.
What about Eastern Illinois? I just want to get a quick glimpse just to see what's coming. All right.
Again, those have
starting
expired.
a downtrend definitely here. So I think this is our severe threat. Besides that, you're right, that Terre Haute one got a new severe thunderstorm warning, but besides that, the main severe weather threat are these cells that are down 65 closer to Columbus, if not south. And the one that's carrying the most rotation at this point directly over top Jonesville, I will say the last couple scans, it looks a little bit looser compared to what it did when it was in southwestern parts of Bartholomew County and southeastern Brown County. Went through Brown County State Park and moving off to the east-southeast at about 50 miles an hour at this point, 45, 50 miles an hour. And then this tornado warning that's in place for Hope in Clifford, the area of circulation is already getting to close to the end of that warning. Adam, when did that warning run to? I think it was 11:15.
11:30.
11:30. So that warning may need to be canceled a little bit
They do
early.
have it looks like a severe thunderstorm warning for that area That's
usually a sign whenever they issue an additional severe thunderstorm warning like that. I have it up. Let me see if they have any tour possible tag. So that new severe thunderstorm warning, which runs into, let's read off some of the counties here. I think I actually just clicked the special weather statement by accident, but that new severe thunderstorm warning, southwestern Decatur, southern Bartholomew, northern Jackson, and northwestern Jennings. That runs until, moving east at 45, that runs, I can't find the time on that one.
The new one's until 11:30 for
Thank
Decatur.
you. All right, thank you.
And that is no tornado tag on that one. That is 60-mile-an-hour gusts.
Okay. While we have it, while we're just sitting here watching this tornado warning, Malia Van Ostrand, she's in Trafalgar. It's not too far away where we had that tornado on the ground in northern Monroe County. It passed to the south of Trafalgar. But Malia, what are you seeing out in southern Johnson County?
Well, right now, the storm has died down a little bit. It's kind of sprinkling right now. Earlier, there was a lot of heavy rain. Now, the power just went out where we are. There was lightning flash, and then the power went out. So it's kind of dark here. There's some people pulling up to the gas station where we are just for shelter. But that's what we're seeing so far right now out here in Trafalgar. I'm Malia Van Ostrand for WRTV 6 News.
All right. Thank you, Malia, and we always appreciate those ground reports in situations like this. Unfortunately, we're going to have to be surveying damage in northern Monroe County after that strong tornado was on the ground. Adam, was that the 10 o'clock hour or the 9 o'clock hour?
That was at about 9:45.
That's what I thought, and then went into 10. So unfortunately, that there was no doubt about it. That was a strong tornado on the ground in northern parts of Monroe County. Crossed I-69. All we can hope is everyone heeded the warnings and took shelter because debris was getting lofted in our atmosphere. And did want to report that we have damage reports coming out of Monroe County, so we'll kind of wait on those to trickle in. And if we send Malia or someone down there to potentially see what happened. It looked like it was right on the Morgan-Monroe County line, which is a heavily wooded area. So that might have played a part in the reason why we saw so much debris lofted in our atmosphere, unfortunately, but we'll be waiting. And I will still mention, I'm just checking in with our news team, I-69 is still all but at a standstill where that tornado crossed the highway on I-69. But anyways, all right, let's go back to our tornado warning and update the latest.
One has expired. It was until 11:30 for Bartholomew County. That has expired.
All right, this is it. This is about to go into Jennings County, and once it exits into Jennings County, that will be the end of our severe storm coverage, assuming there's nothing forming back to the west. So let's back up here. I just want to double check as we stay with this warning. We got nothing else. So the only one of concern is this severe thunderstorm warning, which is south of Terre Haute, and we obviously have the tornado warning that runs into southern parts of Bartholomew County. But it's about to get into Jennings County. And the minute it gets into Jennings County, what time is it? It is 11:05, so we'll start to get into our newscast here. But shifting off to the south and east, overall, the tornado warning, with the tornado warning itself, the rotation looks much broader, Adam,
it looks
in my
like it's
opinion.
weakening as well.
Yeah, that looks a lot broader. When Adam just backed it up a couple frames, notice those bright reds up against the greens. I wouldn't be stunned if we get any sort of confirmation from here, but it's good we didn't see debris being lofted in the atmosphere like that other one in northern parts of Monroe County.
Yeah, even the shear track is weakening with that
still
too.
There. It's still there, but yeah, you're right. It is backing off some of those browns and whatnot. The brown reddish shade in color. And the debris tracker, we may have had it briefly. It's really tough to tell when you get this far away from our radar site, unfortunately. So anyways, with that tornado warning, it runs until 11:30. Adam, I'm going to go check in on that severe thunderstorm in Terre Haute and see if that has any rotation and any reason to stick with it. And
that is it's a tough spot.
Tough spot for sure.
Because of radar.
And it's entering an atmosphere that's been worked over. These are spots that have had storms over and over again for today. Once you start to enter that more tapped over atmosphere, it's tougher for some of these storms to survive, but nonetheless, you have a severe thunderstorm warning. It includes Vigo and Clay County. Clay County has had a slew of warnings, unfortunately, for tonight. It had 3 tornado warnings in Clay County alone tonight, but the severe thunderstorm warning runs through Clay County also into right up against the Owen County line. Clay City, you are in that severe thunderstorm warning as well. Tough to see rotation just because we're looking so far up in the atmosphere. All right, let's go back into that tornado warning. It's getting closer and closer to exiting here, right on top of Jonesville and northwest of Harlan Road and US 41. Some damage reports, so we'll try to nail that down. I think when we were in there, we were close to US 41 earlier, so we'll have to monitor that as we kind of go through damage over here in the next couple of days. But based on what I'm seeing, I do not think they're going to issue a new tornado warning. But nonetheless, we probably will get some sort of extension of a severe thunderstorm warning that goes further into Jennings County. North Vernon, you're the next one, a heads up. And don't want to forget about you, Greensburg, and some of these areas as you get into eastern Indiana. You never know, you could get a quick surge in the line that warrants a tornado warning. But the winds look largely in check compared from what we have earlier. Of course, you still have some minor rotation, it looks like, on that Terre Haute cell. That's just
Looks
to the
like
south.
it's more outflow, not actually
Yeah,
rotating
honestly,
itself.
overlap with that with reflectivity. I'm sure you'll see that better. Yeah, it looks more, yeah, I think you're right, Adam, the way that's kind of playing out. That's south of I-70. Oh, that's where the damage report was coming in from US 41.
Okay.
So it might have to monitor that a little bit. We had a damage report on US 41 come into our chat room. I thought it was associated with that, the other one. But we'll monitor that. Areas, we can start to give all clears, and that's always good in this case scenario. Nashville, you're pretty much all in the clear. You still have some light and heavy rain across parts of the county. Heavy rain repeatedly into Bloomington. Bloomington, we had that tornado warning for tonight. And then obviously, there's going to be a lot of storm surveys probably done over the next couple days in northern parts of Monroe County. Adam, I don't know if we want to rewind as we start to wrap up coverage here of the debris. The debris ball was nasty on this thing, and it only happens when you have a strong tornado on the ground. So this was we're going all the way back to the 9 o'clock hour, that end of the 9 o'clock hour, and look how quickly this thing popped up. It immediately popped up in northern parts of Monroe County, hovered the county line, and then dissipated into parts of Brown County. But what Adam and I are both suspicious of is we think that debris was getting lofted to the point where we had debris in the clouds over Johnson County, just the debris ball as it was expanding in the weakening process of that tornado on the ground. So that's likely going to be the big area that's talked about for tomorrow, given what happened. And it did cross I-69, so all we can hope is no one was on the roads. And we do still have a traffic backup in some of that same location. Back to the tornado warning. It is now, is that in Jennings County?
It is almost. It's
All right,
very close.
We'll carry it over here. It is pretty much in Jennings County. All right, let's broaden back out and make sure we have no severe thunderstorms in place. I'm talking to our producers behind the scenes. What we're going to do here is we're going to wrap up coverage and start to get into our newscast. So just give me the indication anytime to do so. The only trouble spot probably going forward is the one Adam's highlighting here, this severe thunderstorm warning in Clay and Vigo County. There is some light rotation that's south of I-70.
But looks more outflow dominated.
Outflow dominant at this point. So that's probably not a huge concern going forward. Nonetheless, we still have the strong storm that is going into Jennings County, but Jennings County is when we kind of leave you here. But Jennings County, we'll see if we gain downstream warning of any sort here. But overall, it was a volatile atmosphere going into today. We were lucky along I-70 and into north central Indiana that we got that round this afternoon that kind of stuck around with the rain. That limited the severe threat for Indianapolis and for areas like Kokomo, Muncie, Lafayette. We still got storms for today, but the severe component of this was largely south of I-70, and we had the 4 out of 5 risk in play for exactly what panned out in northern parts of Monroe County. That was likely a strong tornado on the ground. We'll be following up on that with emergency managers over the next couple of days and really hope no one was hurt from that. It did go through a heavily forested area and probably got a lot of trees lofted in our atmosphere. So we'll be checking in with the Weather Service for sure over the next couple of days on what exactly happened there and hope we are okay. But in the meantime, still expecting on and off heavy rain over the next couple hours. Our severe threat is dwindling. Might have to watch for some ponding on the roads given all the rain we've had over the last couple hours, kind of going over the same locations. The tornado warning cell is now going into parts of Jennings County, so that's where we leave you typically. We still have a severe thunderstorm warning in northern parts of Bartholomew County and southern parts of southern parts of Shelby County, I should say.
And that tornado warning now has a severe thunderstorm warning.
Okay.
So that's a good indication that's sweeping
Perfect.
as well.
So perfect. As we're wrapping up coverage, we're about to lose our last tornado warning here. So kind of to reset here, our meteorologist
Rotation
Ryan
of
Morse.
where it could have possibly been is now into Jennings County.
Perfect. To wrap up here, I'm meteorologist Ryan Morse, and we've been with you. Meteorologist Adam Fike behind the scenes have been doing a great job driving radar for tonight. We hope you remain safe, and we're going to get into the start of our newscast here.
WRTV 6 News starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. Good evening, everyone. I'm Karen Hensel. We will have much more on this weather coverage in just a moment. But first, Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Morse says a jury took just 30 minutes to convict a man for the 2022 murder of Dayon Mallory. Dante Robinson was found guilty of murder and unlawful possession of a firearm by a violent felon after a 2-day trial. This happened in an open lot near East 38th and North Keystone, where Mallory was found shot. Surveillance video from a nearby gas station showed Mallory and Robinson moments before the shooting and Robinson actually following him. Detectives say the shoe on Robinson's foot in the video matched the one at the scene. Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita is seeking an execution date now for convicted murderer Jeffrey Weishaupt. Rokita filed the formal motion to the state Supreme Court. Weishaupt was sentenced to death after he was convicted for the brutal 2010 murders of 2 young children in Vanderburgh